Greetings and welcome to the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest, an online live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that raises money for rotating community charities. I'm your host and Dungeon Master, and this is just a quick introduction to episode 13 of our open beta development process. Join us. In this episode, 3 existing contestants are joined by 2 new ones as they try to navigate some simple errands and put some much-needed coin in the adventurers' pockets. Things will go a little astray, and it will end with a discussion with some rich kid werewolves eating the poor in the streets and bribing of guards to go away. But for the time being, you'll want to stay tuned to watch to see who lives and who dies and who walks away with a precious stone at the end of the evening. Thank you very much for tuning in, and this is just another episode of So You Think You Can Quest.
Bring on your goblin holes and band of oaks, hulking zombies and kabobs, and oh no, no troll, don't slow me down, oh no. Go bigger, vicious, ever vicious, awesome, many possibilities. When I swing, I'm a clap on beat thing, go again, every time my friend, the outcome's always the same. I roll down at one side and cleave your hands in twain, because I'm rolling 20s like a 68 Impala. AC doesn't matter, critical damage from my warhammer. I throw the big two against every single farm that goes by the walls of my mighty blow. I lay 'em low, yes I lay 'em low.
And welcome to So You Think You Can Quest, the online live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones. I'm your host and Dungeon Master. And this is the Sunday edition. We are joining you live after the holiday, and on this holiday weekend, I hope that everybody out there is as safe as they can be and taking care of themselves and everybody that they care about. It is trying times, and the danger of the encounter rolls is high. So, based on where we left off last time, we had just lost one of the primary 4-player seats, as well as we are rotating out of the ever-changing 5th seat, and we will be joined by 2 new contestants this evening. But before we get to that, I'll talk about what exactly happened last time and where our heroes left off. You see, it was after finding the fetid altar to the goddess Slurgia underneath the temple of the goddess of blessings, Yonqua, in the center of town, thanks to some ruined walls that had collapsed during the fight with that colossal golem and that energy beast. It seems that our party managed to deduce that the blood seal guarding the staircase nearby likely concealed necessary secrets for them, and decided to investigate the surrounding area to reveal that there was also, up and around the corner, seemingly a band of thugs and ruffians and ne'er-do-wells who had taken to living in the sewers, having been shunned by the outside world, and also finding it very lucrative that they might otherwise endure things that the workadays above ground might find too hideous to comprehend, such as fishing for corpses in the raw sewage that flows through the tunnels of Hope's Rise, and deeper yet into the rock and earth, lower still into caverns and substructures that have existed for thousands of years, if not more. These ruffians, having been discovered to be known as the Ladle Gang, after having recovered and rescued the 2 surviving members who had not lost their sanity or been consumed by an abomination of flesh and blood that had been spawned by the nearby blood sigil when one of their members had accidentally gone to investigate it. This abomination, after consuming many of their friends, had grown in size, and combat ensued later. But before we get to that, it seems that these two survivors were able to reveal to our party that there were other power players lurking in the sewers that were employing them at a hefty fee to both guard this area, what with it having yet another staircase leading deep into the rock and stone beneath Hope's Rise, and potentially in the same direction as that of the cultists of Slurgia were guarding, and as well, there also seems to be some print setters union that operates in code through publicly released papers and postings on boards in some sort of hidden code called Bone Screed that otherwise makes lampoon jokes or snide comments about the local aristocracy and guards and happenings in town. The print setters seem to also pay these sewer dwellers a high price for any amount of interesting finds they might be able to dig out of the sewers. This also effectively allows them to, by disposing of bodies in certain areas, ensure the fact that they will be appropriately disappeared from sight. Now, joining us back in the combat that ensued after the party investigated the aftermath of the Ladle Gang's lair and the grotesque butchery that remained there, they were surprised by the fleshy abomination bursting up from the lower depths of the sewer and engaging them in combat. Due to a couple of unlucky rolls, it seems that our druid, Garen of the Wake, expired due to some poorly timed and poorly stacked death saving throws, as well as our wizard almost was claimed. Had they rolled a natural 1 on that last death saving throw, they would no longer be with us, but instead Zarus still lives. Our warlock, Vol Uner, has rotated out, and a new character, yet to be determined, will be rotating in. As we will join the players on the other side of this little introduction, I'm going to assign the character class for the 5th character player, and we will be off to the races with a brand new party. And many more mysteries to solve down here in these dank and foreboding sewers. Thank you very much for joining us as we continue to develop this concept in the open beta format. There are going to be some major announcements and format changes coming up here in the next few days / week as we navigate some of the more complicated aspects of this community development and making sure that we're square with all of the patrons out there as well as the Patreon terms of services. It seems that we may be moving away from a raffle system in order to get players into the game, but we'll see what happens. We want to make sure that this always remains free and accessible to people to put their names into the drawing, as 2 people tonight have, without any other payment than a little bit of their time and filling out an application, have managed to get into the game. And we want to make sure that it stays that way, but we also do want to make sure that we are staying well within the terms and services of the platforms that we're using. So we'll see where that goes. Thank you for staying with us during these development phases, and I'm sure we're going to have a very interesting game of Quest tonight as our player characters try to figure out exactly what the next step looks like. Okay, and without further ado, welcome. And so, you think you can quest? A small editor's note before we get going. We had some audio difficulty over the course of this episode. This is going to be part and parcel with the format, as it is a live broadcast with random strangers being brought together over the course of the internet, and things are not always going to go perfectly. we were able to effectively accomplish our communication, so I was happy to play with the contestants as they arrived. So we will, in the future, do what we can to try and prevent these things from happening. But for the time being, I've edited around it where it was cumbersome as best I can. Thank you all very much for bearing with us through the beta and these small little growth pains as we try and get the show dialed into something even better over time. Enjoy. Oh my god, I just realized that the stream couldn't hear the players there for a second. Okay, I've got that adjusted. All right. Okay, everything
hopefully
should
that's
be
better
fixed
now.
there. Yeah, fortunately we didn't. Nothing was accomplished. Everyone was just getting into the game. All that we've managed to summarize is that we are where we are, and that everyone is doing what they're doing. So, please.
Still smells really bad down here. I cannot wait to breathe fresh air.
Absolutely. We barely got out of this one ourselves. I'm definitely ready to get out of here.
I'm just glad to be breathing.
Yeah, that was a close call back there.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
So, where'd everyone go?
Well,
We're missing someone, yeah?
well, we lost Garen, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes, I tried, but
I was paralyzed with fear. It's my fault.
Nothing you can do about that.
I couldn't contribute to this.
All
I
we can do
couldn't
is move forward.
I've always been scared. I prefer relaxing, gardening, topside.
yeah.
And I guess we're going to have someone else from the guild joining us. They're safe and sound. Hopefully we can make it back to them.
So do we want to go topside and meet with whoever the guild send?
That's probably best. Let's get out of here.
I think it's a good idea. We're too wounded. We need to recover. And I'm really hungry, even though it smells really bad. I'm really hungry. My guy's just gonna start dancing a little bit, like splashing in the water.
There's some pretty horrible stuff there.
Da-da-da, we're alive, we're alive, we're alive.
Yeah.
We did it, we did it.
Yeah.
Now those are some nice robes you got on there.
Well, thank you. I need to clean it up, but you know, I just have
do
the
well.
one pair really, so it's like
Yes,
what I got.
I just have this
Travel late.
kind of like a leather daddy armor I'm wearing, and I think it suits me.
Well, I'm so glad to be out here. I heard of Hope's Rise. There are so many interesting things around that I want to go see and find. There's that bridge of mists. That's amazing.
Yeah, I heard this barbarian named Fia just took that thing down with one swift blow of her axe. Single-handedly.
I wanted to see that. That must have been amazing.
I hear she was the best.
That's a name for the history books.
I guess we're just like splashing around in the puddles or something as we Well, at least I am as we talk.
Uh,
Wait, are you
Speak
here?
for yourself.
Are you underground, or are you in the sewers, or where are you?
So the important thing to remember,
Yep.
Ash, is that you were actually, I know you're swapping in for Muller tonight.
Yeah.
You were there in the sewers. The water you're talking about splashing around in is the blood and guts and sewage and like abomination fluid.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, exactly. There's some like water mixed with crap and blood and sewage. Yeah.
Okay,
Just,
get it
just so
then.
you're clear, yeah.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, I guess above ground, our fighter who has just warped in, Detlin, you are joined by a ranger now who will be warping in next to you. Please welcome to the party one Beryl Hantaber. Beryl, you will be finding on your character sheet, it should be a small side quest in the bio section, a zodiac moon, a small amount of gold pieces, and a bonus starting item. Let me know if any of those things don't show up, but other than that, welcome to the game.
I only see one of the things you said. I only see the side quest.
The Zodiac Moon and the starting item will be on the core page with all of the other stuff. It'll be under your like background features.
Okay.
I'm singing.
He's
in the
literally
sewer.
just still holding his head. I don't like the warp. I really don't. Where are we supposed to go?
Well, this is where Garen had led me earlier, and
Zaris, you're underground at this point, unless you're heading back
Yeah.
up.
yes, and so I think we need to get back up to the fresh air.
Let's go.
Let's
So-
get out of here.
Take you back to the bottom of the stairs, up to the ruins of the temple.
Okay. Knowing that a couple of your companions will soon be joining you, of course, based on the way that the guild works its constant system of reinforcements, I'm going to move everybody over to the town square map, and that is going to sort of unify everybody's location, even if some of you are standing in the church ruins and some of you are just now warping into the crater in the center of town where recently a terrible catastrophe has obviously occurred. Beryl, dropping your token here as I adjust the stream so everyone can see. And then also, where are you? Detlin, there we go. Drop you a token. Bang. That's the two of you there. And then, of course, over on the left side, we have our party emerging from the staircase from below. I'm going to get rid of Vol there, as he is no longer with us for the time being, though his character still lives. That is Zaris and Ash and I believe Jassier's just a little to the south. Yes, there he is. Okay, so everybody, you're more or less on the same plane now. You've got a little bit of time to catch your breath, Detlin and Beryl, as you warp in and your senses are more or less still trying to coalesce color and light and sound into the proper order as your brain becomes re-aware of the material plane having been torn down a moment ago into nothing but elemental static and hurled through the ether of the astral plane to be reassembled here in Hope's Rise. Thankfully, the sunlight isn't too bright through the mists that otherwise obscure it and the mountaintops nearby that help block out a large portion of its radiance at this time of day. Otherwise, the hangover would likely be rather intense. And welcome to the Rise. You've obviously been briefed in the Guild of Mazes gathering hall before you've gotten here. You are more or less aware of the situation and that recently one of the your operatives has been consumed by some sort of flesh-eating horror in the sewers below this town, as well as that nearby your companions have taken up shelter in the basement of the Temple of Yonqua. Players, feel free to interact as you will.
So it's nighttime right now, right?
It is no, it is early evening. It's like 3, 4, relatively speaking. After that battle, I guess it'd be closer to about 4:30, really. But at this point, the evening has yet to set in. It is certainly beginning to show kind of more orange and red colors in the sky as the suns begin to pass towards the horizon. But it's not something that like daylight is going to keep going for a few more hours at least.
All right, so I think first thing we need to do. I mean, I feel awful about kind of doing this right after Garen passed, but she did have a rather large sum of gold on her, and I think we should figure out. I'd like to get the gems and rings appraised, and uh, for the first time, we actually have some money to spend. I think we should take care of that to kind of so we're able to move forward in her name.
Zaris will say a little prayer. Sivan, goddess most righteous, please look after our compatriot. Oh, she died
I'm gonna
for
go.
good cause.
Yeah. I'm gonna like bow my head. Ash is gonna go walk over here and just kind of look at the floor. Some stones over here. Feeling like Ash abandoned there. Couldn't do anything. I was useless towards the end there. Scared.
Would I know of a jeweler or like a place where I could get these appraised?
You would have to give me a history check to find something that was a little bit more specific, as you are aware of, like some general stores at this point, but nothing. All right, based on that, I'm going to give a quick roll. You do recall in the reading of the papers that you were handed before this mission, the sort of dossier that was several encyclopedias thick of relative quote-unquote information to Hope's Rise. There was a jeweler close to the center of town. You can't remember exactly what their name was, but you can remember the street address because it was on the corner of what is not too far away, like a couple streets over. And judging by the more like affluent construction of the buildings in this neighborhood and the clothes of the merchants and commoners that are more common here and more upper crust, if you will, that seems to hold likely to your sense of orientation.
All right, so Jassier is gonna make his way over there.
All right, Jassier, that will take a little bit of time. So while you are doing that, Zaris, Ash, are you going with your Dragonborn companion to find and appraise these gems? Well, find a jeweler and appraise these gems?
I'm gonna sort of console a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, yes, this is no time for him to be going off alone, so we need to make sure to all get that done.
Seeing them go out, I'll like reluctantly kind of like drag my feet, my bloody, muddy, poopy feet.
Okay.
I shall go with them.
You're just gonna stalk through the ruins of this church, much to the horror of the parishioners who have all gathered to offer solemn praise to Yonqua as you emerge from the sewers, Ash, just reeking and vile and obviously covered in refuse most foul. Everyone's going to give you a wide berth as you begin to kind of plod by and out through the door that you have sort of made in the nearby construction by clearing rock and stone away from the floorboards. It seems that the three of you are off to the jewelers, and Detlin and Beryl, what are you doing at this time?
I spot them leaving the church.
Oh, absolutely.
I am going to stomp up and catch up with them then, at which point go. No sense on the last one. I'll do my best to keep you alive.
Okay.
Hey, pal, how's it
Thank
going?
you.
I don't know what's worse, the teleportation or the meat. But I think combining them, not a good idea.
Oh God.
It's a real doozy.
I'm glad you found us here. When I came in, there was no one around, and then everyone was underground. I'm glad to meet you here. I
It's
take
nicer
you've
up
been
here
briefed.
than it is down there. Trust me. Look at me. You think I want to be covered in all this guts and blood and mud and poop? Yes, I do, but some people don't.
Yeah,
Looks like you played in it, so
you definitely came at a better time. Our the earlier today was just horrible.
We made it out, most of us.
I point off in the distance back toward the ranger. He, I think, is with us also. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get over the teleportation anytime soon.
Yeah, he doesn't look too good. Let me go help him out. I'm gonna go help him out.
Yeah, that was a pretty horrible uh, trip. I'm gonna make sure that he's
I'm
okay
gonna,
there.
I'm gonna pat him on the back with my filthy hand. Hey, pal, you doing okay, Mr. Ranger? Looks
Burrell,
like he's
how are you
he's
doing?
not talking. Oh, he's here. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Master Stewart, just to clarify, Burrell is the character that you've been assigned. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I was looking through my characters and all that.
Well, I
As I
pat
was
you on the
following.
back. Hey, Burrell. Come with us.
How's it going, bro? Sure, bro. You seem like the right kind of crowd I should be hanging out with.
It's a good crowd. We lost somebody, and it's my fault.
You got
But
some big shoes to fill. And no,
Don't beat
it's
yourself
not
up
your
about it.
I already got over it. Actually, I just a
was
minute
quick.
ago I was upset, but you got to move on. You got to move on. Like a plant, a flower dies, a new one is born. You're the new flower.
Amen.
You're the new one
Only-
that's been born.
Only way to go is forward.
Speaking of plants,
Yeah.
there were those weird purple flowers in the garden.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely should check those out.
I love flowers. I love gardens.
Yes,
Says so on my
flowers are
character
good.
sheet.
These may
Yes.
not be the type of flowers that you're gonna appreciate, but
More,
they
more
definitely
a
seem more
sentient.
weird.
I think more a sentient fungal monster than a flower, but you can check it out.
Quite interesting. Did you want to check out those gems and stuff that you had?
Yeah, let's still go to the jeweler.
Anybody want to hold my hand? No. Okay.
That's okay.
Just walk off. my
You're
own.
getting,
You know
you're
what?
getting
I'll
over
hold
that.
your hand. I'll do it.
Okay, cool. It's a little bloody and dirty and poopy, but I appreciate it. We walk
And
off
so
hand in
we
hand
regret-
into the
okay.
sunset. What's that?
All right. Burrell and Ash have become friends, apparently. Both mutually capable of dealing with raw sewage and the just aghast and repulsed looks of the commoners and merchants and really all of the passersby who have more than a passing couple of seconds to like smell and witness what is going past them in the streets. Regardless of the sewage that your companion is covered in, it's worth noting that the rest of you who were in that combat, namely Zaris and Jack, Cassier are similarly fairly brutalized at this point, not having come out of that environment and that rather terrible combat with the cleanest of clothes, if you will. Now, I'm going to move us back to the overland map and kind of get us centered on the town there. It looks like we will be journeying slightly off towards actually this cross right here, which is not far enough to trigger an encounter check given the fact that it's basically the only distance that the party has traveled thus far today. You arrive at a jeweler's, the storefront making it obvious if it weren't for the painted on sign that hangs above the doorway. That, let me double check the name of this as I pull up my notes. Want to make sure I get the right one here. Okay, yeah. All right, this is going to be the store of one Orbender and Sons. The storefront seems to be mostly filled with metalworked goods that have been set with large, singular pieces of well-cut gemstone at their center, whether or not it's bracelets or necklaces. They don't have a lot of multi-stoned works here, but everything seems to just be well wrought, and the metalwork itself is so intricate and so fine that it outshines the performance of much of the gemstone in a lot of ways. Judging by the craftsmanship, you would likely say it's probably gnomish or dwarven in origin, at least in influence. You being unfamiliar with the craftsman, at least out here on the street looking in, that's sort of your immediate impression. Past that, the street in this area at this time of day seems to not share the same amount of hustle and bustle that the rest of the town does, as you start to kind of lose some of that immediate cry in the ear of hawkers and people constantly almost pushing by you in order to get wherever they're headed. Now you find this begins to open up a lot more. The streets become wider. There are courtyards and kind of empty areas of brick and stone where the mists fill in instead of the shop fronts. And it becomes a little eerie, to be honest. Even so close to the center of town, it takes not but maybe a half mile's travel before you end up feeling the isolation and the creeping dread of this town begin to set in once more, reminding you that despite the activities of the past few days, there is a wild and dangerous world lurking outside the bounds of these temples and sewers in which you have recently found yourself engaged in. But enough of that. You are here to see a jeweler. Party, do you proceed inside?
I'll turn to Ash and our ranger and kind of address. I mean you no offense, but I do wish to get the most value out of these items as possible, so I would appreciate if we waited outside while I talk to this shopkeep.
I would think it's not the best idea. Consider that everyone besides some of the people here are covered in slits.
We are
Completely understand.
For the best deal, you probably have to be clean, I would assume.
we're all kind of filthy, but
I'll stay outside. I'm actually gonna find. Is there a water trough maybe for a horse or something?
A water trough for a horse? For that, go ahead and roll a perception check. See if there's a nearby rain barrel or some form of just standing water that you might be able to splash on yourself.
Why
Good
don't
idea.
we just visit a bathhouse? You all seem to need it.
I don't know why not, but
Okay, that 15. You are going to manage to spot at the last moment what is not a horse trough or a rain barrel, but you do find what seems to be like a standing, like perhaps day old, couple hours old, hard to tell, like mop water bucket that has been left out in the back door of one of the shops down the alley.
Okay, I'm gonna
Better than
wash my
sewage.
hands in their bucket. I'm gonna let go of of holding hands and go over there and wash my hands and wash my face with this dirty water.
Okay, go for it. In doing so, you manage to get yourself cleaner, but you're really making more progress for yourself than you are your attire or like the filth that you find yourself encrusted with.
Okay, I'm gonna take it off and dunk it in the water as well.
Okay, you're
My-
just gonna
I
you're
guess
just
I
gonna
have some
strip
type of
down and
cloak
start
or
like
something.
washing yourself and all of your clothes in this bucket
Yeah, and I'll
here
be
in
like
the back alley.
whistling. I'm gonna whistling like some type of tiefling song while I do it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna take some time. I mean, I don't know if you've ever like washed all of your clothes one at a time in a bucket, but it's not the
doing
quickest process. While that's
While they're
going
doing that-
on, what is the rest of the party doing?
So before walking into the jeweler, I'll like kind of shake myself off a little bit. I was at range for most of the last combat, so I'm not too worried about kind of being covered in stuff, but I'll shake off any large clumps of goo or blood or whatever before walking in. And then we'll walk in to the shop.
Before you guys walk in, do you guys know of any map places that will sell a map and all that?
I can't say I do.
Totally new to town here as well. I've really only seen the temple and sewers. I don't even know if we've got a place to stay. Looks like it's about time to find that, though.
Alright, I guess I'll just wander around and ask about map shop and all that.
All right. In which case, go ahead and give me an investigate, as one of you is sort of bathing in a back alley, and it seems like a couple of you are going to be going into the jewelers. You, Beryl, are happy to ask around in the nearby crowd. The 9 investigation. Okay, I'll get back to the results of that in a moment. Jasir, you're headed in after having shaken yourself off. Zaris, you were going with Jasir as well. Do I understand that correctly?
Head in there, but all this mist just down the alleys is fascinating, and I've heard just dangerous things about it, but I just sort of want to go and see what it's like.
Okay. Will you be instead going to investigate one of the random back alleys?
Not far down, no, just sort of on the way to the jewelers, just like poke my head in, like.
Okay. As you do so, you find that there is an almost unnatural quality, supernatural, to the content of the mist itself and the way that it seems to move and flow about you. It almost lingers long and carries with it a slight memory of forms and shapes and places. It seems to almost knowingly distort the features of objects that it is clinging around. There's an inherently deceptive quality to it that is also kind of mirrored in how little of it takes before an opacity begins to set in. And the results of your like small kind of like looking down into a one of these mist-filled back alleys makes you realize how many people or things or places might be literally right next to you right now that otherwise are just obscured by the sheer presence of this ever pervasive mist.
Unnerving. I get back out into the street and Are you still headed into the jeweler there? I'll wait outside
Yes.
for you.
Okay.
All right, I'll head in.
Detlin, are you headed into to the jewelers or?
Ellen's gonna try to remain neutral position to the rest of the entire party in case someone gets attacked or screams for help.
Got it. Got
So
it.
pretty much outside the center.
Go ahead and give me a perception check then, as you try and kind of keep an eye on everybody at once, as you sort of looking in more or less like 3 different directions. Like you've got your friend out in the crowd asking questions, you've got your friend in the back alley, and then you've got more or less your co-conspirator here out front. Detlin, with that natural 20, you will not only manage to keep an eye on everyone, but that will come in crucial import here in a little bit. Before we get to that, I'm going to kind of cover some of the action in the jewelry shop. As you head inside, Jassir, you find that the shop itself is more or less like well furnished, in the idea that there are many sitting chairs and there's a crackling fireplace. There are a number of things that seem to be like indicating that people lounge here as well as purchase goods. There are a couple people even now huddled up by the fireplace. Some of them are comparing stones and various materials in their hands. They don't seem to be staff or clerk, as they don't really acknowledge you when you come in. However, you do see a clerk does make their way over to you rather rapidly. A stout gnomish fellow who's taking on in the years a leather apron strapped to the front of his white shirt. He says, "Hello."
Hello, I'm looking for. First of all, This is a beautiful shop you have. I'm interested in selling some gems and gold rings.
Well, we are always accepting bulk material, as you never know how or what you might need to furnish as far as on-demand supplies for custom goods that we might need to require the smelting of existing works. But I'm more interested, you say there are gemstones?
Yes, correct. I take out the large bag of gems and rings from Galen and just hold it up to the clerk.
Okay. They are going to take the bag from you and open it, and after just a quick, rough appraisal, they'll say, there might be some value in here. Do you mind waiting?
How long do you think? I have some time.
How much of an estimate are you looking for?
I'd like I'm wishing to sell them today, so however much time you need to make an accurate appraisal.
Well, what I'm saying is, I could give you a rough estimate now, and we could exchange over that, and it might be maybe a little bit more generous, or this will take some time, and I may or may not need some of these pieces based on the exact prices. So would you like me to buy this as a lot, or would you like me to break this down into exactly what you have here?
You can break it down. I think for the most part, selling it as a lot, but if there's anything of particular value, then I'd like to take a little more time to look at the specifics.
Okay. I have this storefront to mind, but I do have somebody that I can turn this over to. Frankly, unless you would like me to rush the matter, do you feel comfortable coming back tomorrow morning?
I would prefer to get this done today, but I do understand if you're busy.
Well, business can come and go for the right price.
I can include, if we can get this done today, I can give you a fee for your troubles.
Well, let's say, based on what's in this bag, I think you'll have no problem recouping it, but I'll take 15 gold pieces off the top, and we'll have it done by this evening.
That sounds more than fair.
All right, excellent. Do I have a name for this?
Jassier.
All right, Jassier, one moment, please. And the gnome is going to disappear behind a nearby counter that underneath conceals a number of boxes and small shelves, and producing a small punch that is adjustable on its tip is going to set it over a silver coin and tap it with a hammer. You will see that he has instantly made a small little sort of unique number for you and hands it to you. He goes, "This token will redeem the order for Jassier. We keep all of our stones in a variety of safes behind a number of security measures in the back and the sub-basement, so you have no fear that this will otherwise go missing or be compromised. In the event that it is, you will be compensated to no less than the tune of 50% of the estimate. In the event that there isn't an estimate established for your order, then we will simply be giving you 50 gold pieces. I hope this is okay." And after repeating what seems to be a well-despised bit of store policy, hands you the token, and without further ado, we'll see you on your way.
Thank you. I'll be returning tonight if everything goes well.
Okay, heading back out into Hope's Rise. That exchange, having not taken very long, is still going to find your companion Beryl the Ranger and Ash the Tiefling / Rogue bathing in the alley nearby. So you've got a few minutes to kill, the rest of you, as we then will cover what goes on between the natural 20 perception and the 9 investigation. Was there anything that anyone else wanted to get up to or cover in the time being?
I'd also like to go to a blacksmith, if there's one nearby.
For that, go ahead and give me a perception to see if there's one nearby. Other than that, you'll have to rely on a history check to see what you remember about the town. Alright, with a 12 perception, you do not see or hear the telltale signs of a blacksmith, nor do you smell the acrid stench of a forge nearby. So, with that, I'm gonna, and if nobody wants to pop in, I'm going to pop over to Beryl. With your 9 investigation, you're going to find that the cartographers in town, the map makers, those who might be able to help you out in your inquiry, are usually found somewhat further from this district, as the hustle and bustle causes for a higher rent and property value, and the scribes don't necessarily make that much for their reproductions of maps and, tracing of endless amounts of brochures and whatnot. So you get a region of town with which that you might be more successful of searching, and I'm going to go ahead and point to that on the map. Let me grab the right tool there, and then I will point to it on the map. So you are going to find out that it looks like you should be searching more down here. I'll ping that location on the map, where it looks like in this section of town where things get a little denser and the houses are stacked more on top of each other, you're more likely to find the sort of like librarians and scribes and scholars and scientists and whatnot who are taking advantage of the cheap housing and storefronts there. This area is a little bit more boutique, and the maps just don't really sell at the price necessary. So that's gonna then lead over to Detlin, who, keeping a sharp eye on your companions, you are going to notice some guard take not take exception to, but certainly stop and begin to stare at your nude tiefling companion bathing in the back alley, whistling at the same time. They don't approach, but they are standing there muttering to one another, and it looks like they don't have the best opinion of the matter.
Do I see them?
At this moment, you do not. Actually, what is your
So-
passive perception? I believe it's 13, but I could be wrong about that.
11.
11. Okay, so it's lower than I even thought. So yeah, no, you do not. Unfortunately, due to the previously described deceptive and dense mists of Hope's Rise, these guards are managing to escape your peripheral vision for the time being.
Elton's gonna casually get about halfway over to the cache. Guards are staring at you. Might want to hurry up.
Oh, man! Usually I'm pretty sneaky, but I don't understand how they saw me.
Probably the whistling gave it away.
Sometimes when I'm like trying to kill somebody, I accidentally give myself away that way. Okay, so I'm just take my clothes out of the bucket, and it's probably like pretty wet, but I just plop it on, and I'm just gonna like slowly, like very slowly, like walk towards my friend.
Okay.
So I don't want to be like suspicious, so I'm gonna walk very slowly away from the bucket.
Go ahead and give me a I don't really know whether. Just give me a charisma check. Just give me a straight charisma check, Ash, as you attempt to sort of make this all seem very normal. There's nothing to see here. Just another man bathing in a back alley. So with that 12, and based on these guards' reaction, it looks like they're going to crack a smile and begin laughing, but otherwise turn around and walk away. Had there not been some intervention, though, it looks like those two might have attempted to go so far as even try to make life very hard for our tiefling companion.
Well, got out of that one. Usually I get out of anything like that. I never have any trouble with those guys. Where's everybody else at?
They are more or less in the crowd or the street or the general storefront area outside of the mouth of the alley that you were bathing in.
Okay. Hey, Detlin, thank you. Thank you, my friend. You didn't like see me naked, right?
Not enough to warrant.
Okay. Well,
Hangovers?
it's okay.
Yes. Don't worry, I have you for this.
All right. Well, let's go meet up with everybody else. Or I guess we can find Beryl. Do you want to hold my hand?
He's starting to walk off, actually.
He's walking away. Okay.
Walking out of the jewelry shop, I'm gonna. Are there people?
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll turn to at least Zara's and say, I think we'd do well to find some lodging for tonight. It's getting
Yes, I
a
was
little
wondering
late, and I'd like to put this day behind me.
Yes. What did he say about the jewels?
It seems that we have some value in there, and we'll be able to have should be able to have an estimate tonight. So I think we could find an inn or find somewhere and just relax for a while, and I can come back before we sleep.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
I'm gonna walk up to them. I heard, you're not as sneaky as me. I heard what you were saying. You're gonna try to find somewhere to sleep. Don't we have our base over there in the in that basement, that temple?
We do. I don't know if it's wise to return.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. It's filthy down there. It's filthy.
I'd like to somewhere clean where I can wash and sleep without having to worry about a flesh monster knocking down the door.
Yeah, flesh monsters.
Elston
Okay.
just kind of look toward the guards and go, "Hey, where's the inn?"
They're going to look at you, and based on their immediate reactions, I guess go ahead and give me a persuasion check. They don't seem too favorable. Let's see how this resolves.
That was a very nice way to approach them as well. Hey,
Okay, based on the fact that the guards are not in a good mood, they're going to come up to Detlin and say, "You can find it yourself. How about that?" And kind of, they're going to be a little bit abrasive with you, getting into your space and all but sort of puffing out their chests and kind of not pushing you around, but almost.
I'll walk up to the guard and say, sorry for my abrasive companion. We're very tired after a long day. Could you please direct us to the inn?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check and try and recoup what is otherwise just a bad interaction. And what seems to be a glut of rather ill-tempered guards in this area for some reason.
Sorry, did you say persuasion?
It's persuasion, please. Alright, based on their opposing rolls, it looks like they'll look at you and kind of sneer, look at the others who are around you and the fact that you're all armed, and realize that it's just probably not worth it. And they're going to point down the road that you just came, and they'll say, "It's 4 stories tall. Go to the Haven Knoll. It's in the center of town. Can't miss it. Just across from, well, what was the temple."
Thank you.
thank you, sirs.
So, is there anything else anyone needs to do around here, or I'd like to head back?
Besides find a map shop, that's all I wanted to do. I also need to get a stat knoll.
So, what do you need a map for, my friend?
You see, I've been, as my guild gave me a side quest of that I need to get an updated map of a place, which I forgot the name of. It's in my notes somewhere.
I often forget the names of places as well. Okay.
It
well,
was Needle Eye something like around those lines.
Well, does somebody want to go get the map with him?
We have
It's a little far. How far is it? I think I remember it being down south somewhere where the buildings are more clustered and the rent is cheaper.
Yes, I think we should probably just find a room first, and if you'd like to make your way over to the cartographer's shop after we've all gotten a place together.
We definitely have some more pressing issues at the moment. I don't think that I will be spending my time with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, lad. Considering
Perhaps
most of
in the
party
morning.
is half dead, they need sleep first.
It seems like 4 of your companions are choosing to perhaps rest and regain some of the vital statistics and spell slots they've lost in the previous session's battle. Will you be heading on to the area of town on your own, Baril, or will you be joining your companions at the inn for the time being?
He takes a second to think about it, but I will not. I will go with my companions, so you know where I'll be sleeping.
Okay. Going with your companions, you are going to return to the center of town. And for whatever reason, that custom. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at my soundscapes right now. Lost the one that I had made for the Hob and Knoll specifically. But as you return, you will find that the Hob and Knoll is directly to the south of the ruins of the Yonqua Temple. They were actually in the middle of a remodeling when the Golem attack occurred and caused like such destruction in the center of town. Fortunately, just due to random chance, they were able to survive without a scratch, as many of the other nearby businesses were destroyed in the ensuing melee between the energy beast and the stories high stone golem. So with that, you're going to find that the Hob and Knoll is definitely a busy and thriving place. There's plenty of people coming and going, even at this early hour of the evening. Many are feasting on the tables and drinking and just beginning their evening's drinking. Some were checking in at the clerk's counter with to get rooms for the night. Others are checking out as they begin to get their possessions and head back to the road. It seems that there is also a fair amount of kind of anonymity in the size of this crowd, judging by the fact that no one really pays much attention to you as you come in through the doorway, despite your motley band being dressed for war and still carrying with them the remnants of a previous battle, all except for, Detlin and Beryl, who are still in and of their own right imposing enough as warriors and, travelers themselves, being both armed and Detlin being likely, and feel free to correct me, but at least 6 feet tall and rather broad-shouldered.
That and the fact that his giant red tail is just swinging with each step and doesn't really care who he hits with it.
Sure. Fortunately, it seems that there's enough kind of jostling about in this chaotic setting that nobody really pays too much mind, but you do catch a couple of kind of askew glances from some bitter patrons who look at you and the armor you're wearing and decide it's probably not worth it. Welcome to the Hob and Knoll, though. You're free to proceed how you want. Was the agenda immediately getting a room for the evening, or were you just trying to accomplish a short rest?
I'd like to get a room.
Okay. You will find the clerk at this time is a half-elven woman who has enough on her plate in front of her in terms of both books and ledgers that she's trying to fill out and keep straight, and also take into account new reservations and match them against schedules and days of the week to make sure that there's enough openings. She looks up at you and says, "Yes?"
Good evening, miss. I'd like to reserve a room tonight, and if there's a bathhouse in this inn, I'd like to reserve a time slot as well.
Well, there are rooms with baths, and then there's a bathhouse just across the street to the south of us, if you feel like taking that course. What room are you interested in?
I'd like a room with a bath.
A room with a bath will be 2 gold.
I place it down on the counter.
Okay. That room is also going to come with a second bed, as they are out of single bath and bed rooms.
I'll turn to the rest of the party. I've reserved a room for tonight, and it's 2 beds. Anyone want to double up?
I would feel with the priest.
All right, so Zaris and I will be sharing a room.
All right, Zaris and Jasir, you will have that for your accommodations for the evening. The rest of the party, what would you like to do?
I would like a bed as well. Did she said that was the only room?
No. That was just she was just saying that there are no longer single bed and bath rooms. The only rooms that have baths and beds have at least 2 beds in them.
Okay. Hey, I already took a bath, so I just need a bed, really.
That
And do you
will
have any
be between
cigarettes?
2 silver pieces and 5 silver pieces. Well, you could spend more depending on what you want, but if you're just looking for a bed, 2 silver.
All right. I just need the bed. And do you have any smokes, any cigarettes?
There is some pipe tobacco and some other herb behind one of the counters. You'll have to talk to one of the barkeeps.
Thank you. I'll just take that room for now then, with the bed. You said 2 silver?
2 silver.
Okay. And I'll give you an extra silver just as a tip. I see you're doing some remodeling.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'll head up. I'm gonna head up right away to take a bath.
Okay. That leaves Detlin and Beryl. You still have accommodations to purchase if that's what you're interested in.
Ash. As start to log off. One minor thing. if you don't
Detlin,
mind.
you're breaking up a little bit. Could you repeat yourself?
Ash, one minor thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I know you took a bath in a bucket, but if
Yeah.
you would like, I'll get you a real bath.
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good with that bucket bath. That was actually, I'm pretty clean. My clothes, I just got to hang it up and dry them off, but I feel good. I feel refreshed.
Fair enough. I'll just take whatever your cheapest bed is and a tankard of mead.
All right. Cheapest bed they can do for 2 silver. And did you say mead?
Yes.
That will cost you 3 copper. Now, from there, Beryl, what do you want to do for your night's accommodations, if anything? Beryl?
Beryl, sometimes I have to push a button to talk. Perhaps that's what you need to do now?
Hello?
Hey there.
Sorry, I had to reload Discord because
It does crash.
Yep.
What do you want to do for your night's accommodations at the inn?
I'll just buy.
I'm sorry, you broke up again there.
I want to buy a room and a plate of food.
Okay. A room is 2 silver. A plate of food is only a copper piece. Feel free to deduct those from your inventory as necessary. And past that...
I would also like to buy like a plate for like the
For the morning, that will be an additional copper piece.
Okay, I'll give him 1 gold.
She is going to immediately when you hand it to her try to go to make change, assuming that that's what you're implying, and go to hand
No,
it
you can keep the change. You keep the change.
Well,
Oh yeah.
thank you. I appreciate the generosity. But here, one moment before you go. She is going to hand you a different room key and say, this one's a little nicer.
Thank you. I hope you have a nice evening.
It's just getting started, I'm afraid, as she rubs her temples and looks back down at the labyrinth of scheduling that she has to accomplish, as well as keep track of the, essentially constantly shifting ledgers of hotel guests as other clerks are coming over and informing her, who's actively leaving and who's actively checking in, and the way that the night is beginning to shake out. It can clearly tell that she's not becoming less stressed, but she says thank you nonetheless. And the 5 of you are free to your own recognizance to sort of enjoy the amenities of the Hob and Knoll, as well as whatever it is that you'd like to try and get done with the rest of your day.
So I'm gonna, after taking a bath, or I'm gonna spend some time bathing and relaxing in my room, and I'm gonna stay in my room, going over my spells until it's later in the evening to go back to the jewelry shop.
Okay.
Yes, when you're done with the bath there, I will swap in.
Okay.
State of things here. And afterwards, as you are studying your spells there, I'll come up. I'm so glad to be part of this group here. The Guild of Mazes has sent me in. But who are you? What have I gotten myself into?
Well, I'm also rather new. This is my first mission with the guilds.
So have you killed a mistral?
I have not. I have not been so lucky.
Oh, I thought that was the initiation.
Never heard anything about an official initiation, but I have heard that the guild has had some issue with the trolls.
Wait, you guys didn't kill one?
We have.
As he bursts into our room,
Yeah, I'm listening to everything.
sneaking around, listening to us.
Yes.
Hello. No, I haven't yet.
Oh, so that was the initiative.
Well, we had those things down in the sewers. Does almost getting killed by them count?
I think that's initiation enough for me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, someone
you at
else
least-
takes the mistral.
Can you knock before barging in?
Sorry, I forgot that that's the thing you're supposed to.
I understand.
Have a good night as I slowly close the door. You see my peeking out, then I fully shut it.
Just that last, I pretend as if you haven't clicked the doorknob yet. So your companion's busy trying to while away the hours until your order at the nearby jewelry shop has been complete. What is the rest of the party doing at this time?
I want to go talk to the barkeep about the some type of something to smoke.
Okay.
So I'll go over there and ask, hey, they told me you might have some type of pipe tobacco here. Do you have anything magical that might help me in battle, or might give me some type of special abilities?
I'm afraid not. If you're looking for something that a wizard would smoke upon or a cleric might put in one of their incense holders, then you've come to the wrong place. We've got well enough offerings for anybody who's looking for a comfortable armchair and a warm bit of conversation, but nothing that's been blessed by the goddesses or harvested from some far cavern of crystal.
All right, just something basic, just to pass the time, really.
Here, if you're looking for something just for a silver piece? I can give you a pouch of this. And he's going to produce something that fits into your hand. And it's called burgundy leaf. It's a tobacco related. It's got a similar effect on the mind and the senses. Great,
wonderful. And do you have a little pipe, maybe? I didn't bring mine.
For that, I'm afraid I can't help you. You'll have to either go visit the general across the way, and he motions to...
Too much trouble. It's okay, I'll just take the pouch, thanks. And here's... what did you say, a silver?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. I'll give you 2 silver.
He's gonna nod and smile and say, "Oh, well, thanks." For
you have any?
Well, hold on. And for the extra silver, he will fish around under the bar, and it seems like he's willing to just give you his. It's a simple, like, small enough wooden thing, but for a silver, he can buy 10 more of those. So it's certainly here. If I had known you were that desperate.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, when I teleported here, it got lost somewhere. I wanted to ask you, I have a brother. He also likes to smoke. We're tieflings, so we like fire and that type of stuff. His name's Ember. Have you ever heard of a tiefling named Ember come around here?
All right, go ahead and give me a persuasion check as you attempt to ply this barkeep, who is fairly busy for information. 23. Well done.
Thank you.
Rolling to see what this barkeep knows based on this given situation. This barkeep is going to say, not too many tieflings in the rise these days. Ages past, maybe, but ages past is ages past. Ember. You got a last name on you there?
Yes, my last name is Garahest. Sorry, it's been a while since I've had to utter those words. Garahest is my last name.
Garahest. Ember, yes. Garahest. You know, that is strange enough that it does sit in the memory. Let me tell you what. If you stay right here, and they're going to let you be and duck into a back room. Coming back out a moment later with what looks to be one of the hotel staff, likely in the middle of doing some sort of like cleaning or work folding linens, judging by like the armful of towels that they're carrying. This individual looks at you, and they're going to exchange kind of a brief word with the bartender, who's judging on the like kind of distance, trying to get you like a size for, well, it's some relevance for the visual description of your brother. And then the linen folder is going to disappear back from sight, and the barkeep will come back and say, yeah, it seems like there is somebody looks a bit like you going around. They've been here for a little while now. A rich sort, throwing around quite a bit of money.
That's Ember. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're hanging out at the Alabaster Lion.
Alabaster Lion. Oh, that's a great place. Okay. Is that close by, Alabaster Lion? It's been, it's been a while since I've been here. Is it close by?
Hard to miss. It's just a small bit away from here, as a matter of fact. The barkeep is going to...
A coincidence.
Point out this location on your map.
It's a hop, skip, and whatever away. Thank you. And do people like him around here?
I wouldn't know. I just
okay.
C sees him come and go. Our linen folder is with a laundry service. They collect from a lot of the taverns around here. They take it to the lakes and wash them all in batches. It saves them money. But it seems that your friend Ember is easily tracked because there's very few who leave burn marks on the napkins and linens.
That's so Ember. Thank you. One last thing. How do I smell?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking me a mechanical question. I was about to say perception, but
No, how do I smell?
they're going to kind of sniff you for a moment, go, oh, it smells like you were rolling around in a dead body that's been in the sewer, and then you bathed in a bucket that you found in the alley.
You, my friend, are quite perceptive. Thank you, sir.
They're going to look at you in horror as that response comes and is not denied at all. But
I just want to say, I'm good. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for the information. And I'm in room 4 if you need anything.
all right. I don't think I will, but I appreciate the gesture.
Okay. Well, and then I sneak away up into my room like a good rogue, and I might smoke a little, relax, and go to sleep.
All right. Then from there,
You may see Zaris on the way down. He's going down to get a plate of food and mingle with the locals.
I will look for my teammates and because they said that later on after they found the rooms and all that stuff, they will help me look for a map shop.
Delta is currently sitting at the end of the bar, tankard in hand, just chugging away.
See.
I'll approach the woman whom we got the room from earlier and ask for some service at a table for a plate of dinner and a ale.
the woman will direct you to one of the other servers or one of the other barkeeps, as she is only a clerical in duties here and has nothing to do with sort of the restaurant and tavern side of things.
Yes, I thank her very much and take my seat. I ask the waitstaff who's if there are any locals who frequent here regularly that would be particularly amenable to striking up conversations with new people in town.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check as you basically ask this person whether or not there's anyone interesting to chat at around the fire this evening. Based on her role and yours, Zaris, who is beginning to develop quite the reputation for not necessarily handling these situations very well when it comes to meeting new friends, is you're going to find a reaction of sort of, well, I mean, there's always people around the fire. You could, I suppose, go talk to a few of them. The ones who've been drinking are always fair sport. Watch for those with swords or staves by their side, though. They've probably got the most interesting stories, but they're also most likely probably to rob you after you leave.
Thank you for the advice. Yes, I'll mind them.
All right. But what would you want for your dinner this evening? You were, it looks like, going to get a plate of food, but we've got a bunch of offerings right now. The larder is stocked to the brim. We've been closed for the remodels, so the kitchens are overflowing.
Oh, that's fantastic. What do you recommend? Is there something that you're
Based
well-known for
on this person's role and their appraisal of you, they're going to say, well, if you're looking to keep the grease off of your hands, there's a lot coming in from the fields right now for the spring harvest. There's a lot of small sprouts, a little tiny root vegetables that are all being. We've got some lovely soups and salads available. It's cut up fine, tossed on some leaves that we pulled out of the garden. It's not anything fancy, but if you're looking for something heartier, the lamb is not to be missed. We've got a braised duck in the back, I think, and we're frying up an entire half a swine right now that we'll be trotting out later for everybody.
Those all sound delicious. I think I'd love a warm bowl of soup and greens.
Stay right here then. We'll be back. In the meantime, try not to get into any conversations with too dangerous a person.
Yes, will do. Thank you.
Elton would stand up and grin and go, bring the swine too. As he just kind of sits himself down at Xander's table.
You'll get a nod from the serving staff as they appraise the dragonborn in armor and have no questions as to why they would be interested in that particular meal. So you'll be waiting then for your food and dining as the time goes by and Jasir whiles away their hours up in the room. Baril, it seems like your companions may or may not be happy for the time being where they are. Are you going to make another attempt to try and convince them to join you looking for a cartographer?
Yes. And if they...
Oh, Baril, I think you cut out again there.
Yes, I will. Who is the first?
Who's the first? Well, I mean, down in the common area, your companion Detlin and as well Zaris are there. The other two are up in their rooms.
Okay, I'll go up to their...
Detlin's
And I will
drinking at the
not...
bar. Sorry, you were cutting out. I couldn't hear you. Detlin's drinking at the bar, and I'm at a table waiting for a salad.
I see. Since I will go up to the people that are in their room.
That would be Jasir and, well, because Jasir and Ash are in different rooms, which one are you going to?
I'll go to Jastir's room first, and I shall not.
Kind of, Jess, you're being exhausted and deep in study. I'm not gonna. I hear some noise, but I'm not gonna pay any attention to it.
He's gonna slowly open the door, peeking in. And we'll say, is everything okay there? Is everything okay? You good?
What
good?
do you want?
Do you know where I can find the car? I was told that someone knew where the shop where I can find the maps were.
I know nothing of a cartographer.
I see. Well, he will slowly close the door, questioning it.
Having been intruded upon for the second time, I'm gonna go up and lock the door.
Noted.
Then I shall go to the next room.
All right, that would be Ash.
I knock on that.
I'm like smoking my pipe, standing on the balcony. I'm singing, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
I slowly open the door.
I'm naked also. Knock, knock.
I close the door.
Oh, yeah.
I close the door.
All right, it seems
I'll
like
go back
both of your companions are otherwise busy. What would you like to do with your time?
I'll go to the rest with opinions to see if they. I will first go to the one who is drinking.
Detlin's drinking. You're going over there.
Yep.
What are you saying to Detlin?
Hello, good sir. Yeah, you're a little bit still right now. Are you sober enough to leave the bar?
Always sober enough to leave a bar.
Do you know where the I was told that I forget who. I don't remember names well. I was told that someone knew where the shop was.
Shop for what?
To buy a map.
Oh, you want a map maker? He turns his head and looks around a bit. Try to learn one. I don't want that. He's got shiny ropes. Ask him. Maybe he knows where maps are.
You see, okay. Mhm.
Hold on.
Okay.
This is. I think they told you it was where it was. It was somewhere like town where.
I think
scientists.
I think Baril is merely just trying to get somebody to go with him and is just striking out. I think the strategy of inquiring from the companions is not necessarily yielding the results they were hoping for.
Yeah, so
After
really.
this many losses.
Where is the map made? Look for somebody with a rope.
I guess wait, I know the location where I need to go.
Sorry, what was that? You're breaking up again.
I do know the location of where I need to go.
You got a recommendation to an area of town. You did not get a specific building or place to go to. Just a better lead.
Okay, well, I'm leaving out to a place down here. I'll be back soon, probably. Hopefully.
All right.
Do you want the guard?
Okay. If you are heading out, then that. Zaris, I just saw you roll a persuasion.
No, just a random d20 there.
Okay.
That persuasion was for the getting to know people.
Okay, got it.
Yes, I wanted to just sort of see if I noticed him leaving.
Right. So with that, if you're going to be heading down to that area of town, Baril, that is going to take a little bit of time at this point in the evening, as well as I will be looking for an encounter roll from you, as you will be crossing the necessary amount of distance in order to trigger one of those. As you journey now to one of the more thriving and populated sections of the town. The encounter rolls are accomplished with, go ahead and roll a D100 into chat, and I will roll a D100 on my side, and we will see what exactly it is that you do or don't run into. Ooh, 19. That leaves room for quite a bit of potential. Let's see exactly what happens. In the meanwhile,
Just for clarity's sake, he'd walk right by Sanders and out the door.
yep.
I mean, you kind of ordered food. I didn't want to have to take you away from the food you ordered.
Elder's just going to shake his head and follow.
All right, Detlin is going to go with our ranger and see what there is. I had to roll again for a subchart there. Sorry. You are going to arrive now in this area of town to find that your journey, after having taken a couple hours in the inn to yourself, and then now a little bit of time to walk into this area of town, has allowed the sun to really get into a deep twilight, and the purple shadows that hang long in the fog and the mist now are making it very difficult to see further than maybe 40, 50 feet beyond any given point, even with now what are torches and lamps being lit in the streets to help aid with visibility. You can see a lot of the townsfolk are beginning to light torches or lamps at this time, even though it has not yet fully begun to hit night. Reaching this area of town, you find that the streets are still full and not vibrant with the same life of the town square during the day, but nonetheless, they have quite a few people milling about. There are quite a few shops closing down. There's people beginning to sort of file out of their homes and living spaces and make their ways into eating halls and taverns alike to begin to try and, while away their evening with friends, family, and the like. So you are now in this area. Go ahead and you're going to have to give me an investigation check in order to find the cartographer or a cartographer in order to locate this map that you seem to be looking for. Oh, a critical failure on the investigation check, and I'm going to roll for variance on what that means. It looks like you are going to find yourself, Beryl, having a conversation with a rather shadowy group of individuals who have, after seeing you kind of looking around at the storefronts and asking people if they know where there might be a map maker or a scholar who has maps for sale nearby, are going to emerge from an alleyway and with weapons at their sides and what is clearly leather armor underneath their kind of like awkwardly raggedy and bagging clothing that they keep over their armor in order to conceal it on the streets. They are going to start getting a little closer to you. An elf with a torn ear is going to kind of emerge from as de facto leader of this band and say, "Oh, yeah, you're looking for a map maker. I know exactly where one is. You should come with me."
I look at my companion who would.
What? I need to have daggers that don't look like people on ropes. Not a good idea.
I'll insight.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an insight. They don't seem as if they're likely to be the most studied when it comes to maps, judging by the rather combat-hardened exteriors that many of them have. What with the missing fingers, scars, kind of some of them seem to be sort of kind of cracking their knuckles at the moment, all leering at you. They also don't seem like they're, I'm going to say this in the most polite way possible, they don't look like they have the best of intentions.
Like, maybe 20, step up, this is the hardest
Wait, I almost forgot something that I needed to get. I forgot to leave. I left my money at home, so I'll go and get it, and I'll find you guys. So we can go to the map shop. Can you tell me where I can find you guys later on?
Go ahead and give me a deception check as you attempt to, deflect and diffuse this situation. All right, deception. Let's see how criminal friends respond. It seems like a couple of them are gonna start kind of getting downcast looks on their faces, like, oh man, he doesn't have any money on him. Doesn't have any money. But it looks like the elf at the lead of them is gonna step forward and continue kind of smiling in a crooked grin and say, oh, well, that's fine. We'll go with you. It's dangerous to be out on these streets alone at night, you know.
Yeah, but I'm not alone. I have my friend over here who I completely trust. And I don't really know you guys that well, so I don't know if I can trust you guys. After all, it is dangerous, and you can never be too safe.
All right.
But I definitely will try to find you guys later on.
They are going to look between the Dragonborn and the Ranger, making a quick judgment. Go, yeah, you know what? It's not an issue. But I tell you what, if you're looking for a little help getting around town later, we'll be here all night.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks for telling me.
Sure. With that, they're gonna kind of.
I thought you guys wouldn't.
Oh.
You guys seem like the type that you guys were gonna rob me, but I guess I was wrong. Either way, you guys are pretty cool guys, people.
Nodding, they're gonna say, "Yeah, I guess we are." But don't you have somewhere to be now?
Yeah, correct. Me and my yeah, me and my friend have to go. Yeah, things.
Your money.
Yeah. What do you mean?
All right. From there, are you going to continue to search this area? As now, with that investigations taking some time, you have already now inquired and looked through several streets and talked to a fair amount of people out here, and it has passed enough time that night is in full swing by the time this exchange has closed up. And you look around and find that the helpful supply of nightlife is starting to dwindle, and the once open shop fronts are starting to mostly begin to get closed.
I would like to continue.
Sorry, what was that? You cut out towards the end.
I would like to continue, but I don't think it's the.
All right.
I think we should go back.
And like while this is happening, once like I feel like enough time has passed and it gets into the later parts of the evening, I'm gonna come out from my room, go down, and find Xeris and ask if he would like to accompany me to the jewelry store.
That sounds good. Mechanically, has there been enough time for me to roll some hit dice?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Not sure that I want to go out in the dark with one hit point.
Okay. You are going to be able to depart for your jeweler sometime around the time that your companion would be arriving in the southern districts of Hope's Rise in order to start their investigation. So while journeying to the Jeweler, the first time, did not trigger an encounter check. Journeying back to the Hob and Knoll and then back to the Jeweler is going to be enough for these party members to have to make an encounter check of their own. So Zaras and Jasir.
Jasir, I'll leave it to you.
Ooh.
Did I? I meant
a 2 out of 100. This has the potential to be a critical failure, depending upon what gets rolled here. It could also lead to a critical success, however. These sorts of things can go either way. I mean, or none of the above, really. There's all kinds of options. All right. It seems as you begin to make your way towards the jewelers, I'm going to adjust the stream here, that you are going to see in the twilight of the setting sun what looks to be up ahead as you draw nearer to the location. Some individuals standing in the kind of awning of the storefront, all of them seemingly arguing with somebody standing there in the doorway. As you draw nearer, yet still things seem to escalate to violence. And the individuals who are arguing with what seems to be maybe one of the store's clerks begin to draw for their blades, and it is going to be an issue of combat here. You are based on the visibility of this, you're about 60 feet away as you watch this kind of begin to go from being rough silhouettes, and you're wondering about as you draw nearer to see, like, this is definitely the shop. This is definitely what looks to be about 4 to 5 people standing in front of it, and it is now about to turn to blows as you can hear the telltale sound of steel ringing from the sheaths at their sides. What do you want to do?
From this distance, can I tell if it's the clerk that I was speaking with earlier?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'd also like to, using my investigative phoenix ability, see if I can make out the situation any better.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll with that. And I'm going to transition this over to a little bit more of a night vibe, I think.
I would still be like just in my room.
You are just chilling.
Yeah, I'm chilling. Okay.
So
I was anticipating this to be just a quick little trip, and I was sorely mistaken.
That 19 investigation is okay. So investigation is something that kind of represents a little bit more of a hands-on. It's not like such a snap thing. So you would be actually making a perception roll for this.
Okay. Do that then.
In which case, I don't believe your investigative phoenix applies.
Yeah, it's investigation or perception.
Oh, or perception. Oh, correct. Then it does apply. In my head, it was insight. Shows you what I know about my own game.
It could be, yeah.
Then that is going to be even better for you, actually. That perception check
Sounds good.
is going to be enough to identify that this is a different clerk. However, you can tell based on the way that they're gesturing, and one of the toughs is holding a bag. This is either some kind of shakedown, if not outright robbery. Judging by the way that the clerk has not made any particular moves to like immediately flee from this situation. You see that maybe there's this isn't as unexpected as like, you know, just a random occurrence, but that's about all you can really tell given the fact that it's just sort of a flash observation, and there are quite a few obscuring factors at play between the night air and the fog.
Was I able to tell
Yeah, that mist.
either if it was the clerk or like how many assailants?
You were not able to tell. Your companion Zaris was able to tell that it is not the same clerk. There are 5 assailants.
I think this is not our fight to handle right here.
What can you see? Can you see how many there are or what's going on?
Yes, Zaris can see a lot. However, Morgan cut out and lost connection during the entire description. So Zaris tells you what the DM's.
What do you think? I don't think it's, well, I mean, after the day we've had, I don't think it's wise to get into another fight. Do you just want to head back and you can do this in the morning?
Yes, I'm sure that whatever token you've got will be just as valid then. Let's head back to the tavern.
Yes, I appreciate you coming with me.
Hob and Knoll.
So we'll just do a quick 180, head back.
You're just gonna do a quick one, okay? It seems that you're in luck for the time being, as you don't hear the sounds of anyone like following you, but you do hear what are clearly the sounds of combat as steel resounds off of steel, and then moments later you can hear the twang of what are bowstrings of some kind, accompanied then also by a couple screams and cries for help and the attention of guard. But by the time that begins to really escalate, you're far into the distance on your way back to the relative safety of the Hob and Knoll. It looks like the jewelry store will be closed for this evening.
I'm gonna get a plate of food. I'm gonna see if I can get a big chunk of the swine, and I'm gonna head to sleep.
Just getting a giant slab of deep fried pork and then carrying it back up to your room in a napkin to devour without silverware. Our Dragonborn, appropriately enough, is going to retire for the evening. We are right at about the point where we're headed towards the break at the middle of the show. We do still have the encounter check, actually, of our companions who were in the southern district of Hope's Rise, kind of shopping and central population, to deal with, as those bandits were just the result of that critical failure investigation. So they are not quite out of the woods yet. So please, if you are out there in the Twitch chat or the Discord watching us, please stick with us through this 10-minute break as I and the other contestants get necessary water, food, and drink, and then come back to see if maybe something quite perilous doesn't befall some of our stragglers who find themselves now out past sundown in an area of town that maybe they shouldn't be. But who knows? That encounter roll could also be like full of magic items and potions and gold falling from the sky or something. But you'll have to stay tuned to find out as we continue to raise money here and also give away precious stones while giving contestants chances to win cash prizes. It's So You Think You Can Quest. Thank you very much, and contestants, we will pick up right here where we left off in about 10 minutes when we get back. And fans, same goes to you. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in a moment. you're watching this, chances are you're not joining us live on Sundays or Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, when you could be a part of the action live as a contestant or a viewer and an observer of the action, making all kinds of witty remarks or perhaps deceptive plays to try and sabotage our adventurers. We are live once again. Just dealing with a small technical issue there. It looked like there was an error in somebody's character sheet. Probably my bad. Now, from there, we rejoin our companions who are somewhat actually south of where the "You Are Here" token is currently. We find them now around here on their journey back towards the inn, the Hob and Knoll, and the relative safety that its walls have to provide. When we last left off, however, I believe, Zaris, you had arrived to the Hob and Knoll, but had not told me what you were getting up to. I want to kind of give you a chance to declare an activity before I cut away from this to whatever it is that our companions have encountered.
Oh, Jesse and I just got back to the Hot Knoll, and I was gonna head back up to our room and catch some Z's.
Okay, so you're both sleeping. Just clarifying that real quick.
Yeah.
It can have mechanical implications later on, so I need to know like where your character is physically in the building. Then that is going to free us up now to return to our companions, Beryl the Ranger, and for whatever reason, I keep wanting to call you by your last name, and then I have to like not mess up like fusing those two words together. Detlin Ruby, the Dragonborn fighter. As you begin to walk home, can I ask really quick, what are your passive initiatives? Passive perceptions.
Mine is 14.
14, all right.
Goose egg, rolls and go, 10.
Okay, and that is going to then bring us to the shadows drawing long about you as the night wind begins to whip up, and suddenly the streets, even though they were full not but a couple hours ago, have seemed to almost empty entirely. You look around for some semblance of life in this busy city, but it seems that everyone has shut their doors, extinguished their candles. There don't seem to be any lights illuminating busy taverns in this particular section of the street that you're walking on, and you feel for a second alone. With those passive perceptions, you are not going to notice what is gathering around you until it emerges from the shadows in the very center of the street in front of you, literally rising from the ground out of the lingering and growing darkness. And it appears to be at first almost a trick of your eyes, as there is this distorted sort of almost mutating silhouette of light in front of you that has these two burning red eyes set in sort of a vaguely humanoid shape. A cold air follows with its appearance, and it extends from its sort of amorphous, shadowy body what looks to be an appendage in the shape of a wispy arm, and with that, it is going to waste no more time and sprint forward, attempting to attack you. It is going to roll initiative now, as you and it find yourselves trying to jockey for position on who will be going first in this what seems to be spontaneous appearance of the undead.
I see it's undead, then okay. I'm gonna kill it.
All right, go ahead, Detlin. That's going to be a 13 initiative. I'm going to bring the tracker up really quick to just make sure in case we have to bring anybody else in on this. But Beryl, that's 19. Both of you are going to manage to actually go before this charging shadowy creature manages to impact with you and make melee distance. So it looks like Beryl, you will be at the top of the order to start us with. What would you like to do? It is your turn. You see this thing charging towards you. You and your companion Detlin are walking close enough together that you're not really sure if it's headed towards you or headed towards him yet, but it's definitely your direction.
I will be taking steps back, and I will pull out my longbow and bonus action cast snaring strike on it.
Okay.
And then I will shoot at it, trying to immobilize the creature that has came at me.
You got it.
Why you do this? Why do you do this right now? That's a short sword. Alright. That's a natural 1. My luck is really bad today.
That is a natural 1. All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll for variance on the custom critical chart. And it looks, critical failure chart. It looks like based on the circumstances, you are going to go to knock an arrow and shoot at this creature. But as you go to knock the arrow, it looks like the fletching on it is inferior and has been ruined by some sort of weathering or rot. And the arrow itself is just going to break in your hand as you go to draw it back in the bowstring. So bowstring. So you're going to lose one arrow out of your available ammo, and unfortunately that attack is not going to be successful.
Alright, I will continue to take steps back.
Alright, maxing out your movement. That is then going to pass us over to Detlin, as you are now up. I'm going to grab a token for this shadow monster real quick. But Detlin, Ruby, how are you dealing with this situation?
Far away from the end.
You are you're less than 30 feet away from it. Consider it sort of like 25 effectively, because the creature is kind of closing as all of this is happening.
And this is something that's ethereal looking? Like
Incorporeal, yes.
Not that dumb. I'm going to double dash past it, run toward the end, and go, need a priest!
You're gonna go past it.
If I can go around it, I would love to. Otherwise, yes, I'm gonna go straight through it for it to get an op attack, because I'm not gonna try to one-man fight something that's ghosted.
Okay, so I was just... Okay, there we go. There's a better representation. I'm going to zoom the stream in here. So that means that your companion will be going one way and you will be going the other. Just noting that. Oh god, the stream's wrong direction. So as that happens, Detlin, you are going to head around it. That is going to cost you some of your movement, unless you're willing to eat that opportunity attack. Which will it be?
I will burn some movement and not let that thing touch me.
Okay, then that will cost you about basically 10 feet of movement to just like take the quick diagonal steps on the gridded path around it and keep sprinting up the road. That is going to bring it now to the shadow creature's turn, as we are going to see it have to make the crucial decision between the ranger and the fleeing dragonborn. It looks like the dragonborn being a little bit further away at this point, having made the like full double dash, is going to, well, not double dash, but the full movement and dash combo. It is going to charge yet further after the ranger, and not able to quite close into a melee, and also attack in the same turn. It is going to get up next to you and begin threatening you in melee distance as the shadowy tendrils begin emerging from its body and attempting to... Sorry, my Sirenscape just crashed. Basically wrap you up and otherwise like ferry you away into the darkness. You are going to, however... it's going to be 3 points of damage, of cold damage, just from proximity to this thing, as you now like actually get into its melee distance. And
That's silly.
from there, it's going to go to your turn, Beryl. This thing has closed upon you. What do you want to do?
I'll take out my short sword, and with my longbow in my other hand, I'll take out my short sword and swipe at it with vines covering the short sword.
Okay. That 20 is going to be enough that you make contact with this creature. Go ahead and roll damage.
Wait, I have things. It's this. Also gets rolled. This. The snaring strike does 1d6 piercing damage on top with my short sword.
Okay. Noted.
I will cast. Wait, can it be restrained? Because if so, it has to make a strength save.
This creature, it does not seem can be restrained in the current conditions.
It seems I don't have two short swords, so I cannot do will. So I shall cast Hunter's Mark as a bonus action, yell for the guards.
Okay.
He shall yell for the guards.
Yelling for the guards, bonus action. So you're not going to expend any movement this turn? Just checking.
If I do, I'll just be taking an attack of opportunity, and even so, it can probably catch up to me.
This is a good observation. I'm just merely checking because I don't want to, skip your turn while you still have, options left. So
No, I'm just saying what I'm thinking.
No, I get you. Totally. From there, that is going to go to now our companion, the Dragonborn, Detlin, as you flee north up the road. Are you going to just continue to pump your arms and legs and get as far away from this as possible?
Nope. Am I close enough that I know the inn can hear me?
You are definitely far enough away that the inn is not going to be able to hear you.
Yes, we're going to keep pumping arms and legs and do another dash toward the end.
All right, that is... Or just...
Actually...
Yeah?
Perception to see guards if necessary?
Go ahead and give me a perception check as you attempt to locate some guards. Sorry, took it. No, I'm still waiting. Give me a perception check there. There it is. All right, 9. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances of both the encroaching fog and the night, it seems like there aren't any guards around. Certainly none that you can spot or hear. That is gonna, I kind of leave you with the conclusion that you're gonna either have to, run further in some direction or start, yelling louder or making more of a noise to attract attention.
He's gonna just growl because this guy just starting to face a monster. He's going to step in close enough that he can get his angle correct to not singe his buddy, and let the full force of his breath out across this thing to see if fire does anything to it.
Okay. You will have enough... Yeah, you'll have enough movement to get that accomplished. So go ahead and roll now as you attempt to hit this thing with some fire breath. As I adjust for what this creature may or may not be able to do as far as a dexterity saving throw is concerned.
How do I accomplish this? I show it in the sheet. I just don't know how to get it to roll.
If it's not... Hold on. Let me double check. It's been a second since I've rolled some fireborn. Some dragonborn fire breath.
It's not shown in the sheet normally.
In which case, you can just roll the 3d6s for it. Effectively, and then we will... Oh, no, sorry. It's 2d6. It's 3d6 at 6th level. I thought it went up a little bit faster than that. All right, that's going to be 5 damage. I rolled this thing's dexterity saving throw already. It looks like being incorporeal is a part of this thing's natural dexterity, and it does manage to dodge this attack quite effectively, but you do singe the outside of its shadowy silhouette and manage to burn away a little bit of its mass with your semi-magical fire. It's not going to do a lot of damage, but it is going to do some. You see that it definitely attracts the creature's ire, though, as it now realizes there are once more multiple targets. Detlin, that is going to be your movement and your bonus action. In order to get back there and get the angle that you're looking at, you would have had to have likely used your movement to get your action for dash, and then your breath as the bonus action. So your movement, your economy is pretty much spent. Is there anything else before I pass it on to the shadow creature?
Nope, he's just going to unclip the greatsword from his back, grip it in both hands, and put her up.
All right. This creature is going to, on this turn, then use one of its abilities, and now that it has caught one of its foes and also has more in its sights, you will see the creature is going to summon 2 more of its self from the shadows. These are not full-fledged versions. They seem almost as if like half size, but they are nonetheless still extending their shadowy appendages and claws towards you and beginning to try and tear you down, Baril. The 2 small ones are not going to be able to attack this turn as they've just come out, but the other one is going to be able to still... you will take the 5 points of damage of cold from being in the proximity to this thing now. And from there, that is going to pass it over to your turn, Baril.
I will continue to offer the question. Are they within...
Okay.
Are they within 5?
Yeah, they're within 5.
Alright, I will use my ability.
All right. Using Horde Breaker. Okay. So that 10 and that 12 are not going to be enough to hit, unfortunately.
And I will continue to yell for the guards.
Okay. continuing to yell for the guards. And now with the, it looks like, support of your companion, you may yet turn the tides on this, but we will see. We go now to the Dragonborn. Having seen 2 more of these creatures emerge from the darkness, what else do you want to do? Fight or run?
We're going to have some fun with this one. I would like to pick up my own companion, willing or unwillingly. Let me know which. And I am going to dash, action surge, and dash again with him on my shoulder because we are not going to survive this.
Okay. Baril, are you willing or unwilling in this particular instance? As
Willing.
Okay. Are you how? You're gonna have to deal with some attacks of opportunity, or you're gonna have to burn quite a bit of movement to get around them and grab him and get out without getting into their melee range. How do you want to handle that?
They're getting their attacks of opportunity. I've got to get them as far away as quick as possible.
Okay, got it. So, out of the gate, you are going to take, it looks like, 5 points of cold damage for like getting into proximity with them, and then grabbing him, and then go ahead and give me an athletics check as you attempt to heft this not inconsiderable burden upon yourself. All right, with a 13, that is going to be enough to basically grab your companion and begin pulling them, but it's not going to be enough to kind of break the fact that it's going to be at half speed. So enduring, I'm calculating, because you would have been, based on the angle of your fire breath, probably about 10 feet away. So that is 10 there that's unimpeded, and then getting out impeded with the dash and then the action surge and then the dash again, and the movement, you're looking at approximately, that's 120. No, sorry, that's 90. And then minus that, cut that in half. So you're going to be about 45 feet away from these creatures when you manage to kind of like end your turn, as you've dragged your very heavy companion behind you. That is going to invoke an attack of opportunity from 2 of them, as you will be able to grab him from such an angle on the approach because you're coming at the diagonal that you're not going to get into the melee of that last small one on the end. But that first attack, it looks like it's going to hit, and then the attack from the second one, it looks like, is also going to hit. So you are going to take a total of, it's going to be 9, then an additional, so 9 cold damage from the first attack, and then it's going to be 7 cold damage from the second attack, and I'm going to need you to make 2 successive Constitution saving throws. Nice. All right. Ignoring the melee attacks effect upon you, as these shadowy tendrils seem to kind of creep through the layers of your armor and into your skin, driving like cold needles into your soul itself, it would perhaps maybe slow or bitterly fatigue another lesser adventurer. But Detlin, you rally your dragonborn constitution and continue to press on despite the damage done, and you will not be suffering from any speed penalties, so you do manage to clear the full 45 away from these as you drag your companion in tow. That is going to effectively not allow your companion to disengage from that last one, so that last one is going to use its reaction to swing on him as he's getting wrenched out of the melee. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh.
It looks like that's gonna be a successful hit at a total of 23. Not damage, sorry. Just that's what it rolls to break the AC. Damage, it looks like, is gonna be a total of 11 cold damage. And with that, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Beryl, okay, that's enough. This DC isn't particularly high, but you too realize that should you not be able to shake off this otherwise bitter and magical cold effect that these shadow creatures have, you could quickly find yourself being mired in their otherwise undead magic. We go to the top of the order now. Or actually, no, sorry, that was Detlin's turn. So now we go to the shadow creature's turn. The shadow creatures are going to turn and attempt to, with Detlin and our ranger basically in tow, being where they are, will not be able to reach Detlin and Beryl and also attack in the same turn, but they are going to basically gather around the already more wounded companion and threaten their melee attacks, so that should they attempt to retreat without disengaging once more, they will take similar barrage. So from there, we go top of the order to Beryl. Beryl, what are you doing?
What I shall do is I shall try to think it next. I was so really funny.
Okay, it broke up on me a little there. What was that?
He's gonna whistle real loud as he can, try to call his horse.
Okay. Got it.
And then he's gonna try. He's gonna disengage and start moving. So.
All right, disengage will be your.
And I continue to move.
Your action. From there, if that's going to be your turn, we go to Detlin as your ranger friend continues now to try and beat a retreat alongside you.
I use my 30 feet of movement to get up to him. Again, hoist him by his waist. Use my action to dash and see if I can drag him another 5 or 10 feet further back.
Okay.
Try to get him out.
Give me that athletics check to see if you can help drag this one along. All right. Being substantially better this time, you will actually get a little bit of distance out of this one. And rather than it being halving your movement speed, it'll be more like 2/3, so you'll get 10 feet and pull him yet a little further. That is going to then put it to the shadow creatures, who are going to not be having this. So one of them is going to move up and get within melee range of Detlin. I keep messing this up. Beryl. And then the other one is going to use its movement, and because it has to take the dash action, it's going to also get up and threaten Detlin. And then this one is going to do the same and get into a position where he's basically threatening both of them. That is going to be it for the time being as you continue to play this deadly hopscotch and hope to maybe attract the attention of the town guard. But from there, we go to Beryl. Beryl, what are you doing?
What I shall do is, wait, am I technically all of them?
Sorry, what?
Wait, am I tech opportunity of all of them?
Yes, technically you are, actually.
Alright, then I will move, dashing.
Okay, so you're gonna take those attacks? Okay. The first one is going to be successful. The second one is going to be a natural 20, as it seems like these creatures have it out. And then the third one is going to almost be a natural failure, but not quite. So that's going to be one regular and one critical in the reprisal as you attempt to escape. That is going to be a total of, that'll be 12 cold damage from the one with the crit, and then that's only going to be 5 cold damage from the one that did not critical. And I see those Constitution saving throws. The 13 is successful again. The 10, however, is not. And the effect of these things is not dire, but you will have 5 feet taken off of your total movement for the time being. And so your your dash and movement is only going to get you to 50. Yeah. So that means Beryl, having gotten out of there and also used all these creatures' reactions, we go to Detlin now. Detlin?
We're still conscious.
Detlin?
Is Beryl still standing?
Sorry.
yeah, you went
I didn't hear the
unconscious?
first part of that. Yeah, Beryl is still standing.
Wait, you went unconscious?
No, he didn't. No one went
I'm
unconscious.
asking if you did yet. Okay, so
Uh,
if they used all of their ops, rinse and repeat the same as last time. Run to him,
Okay.
pick him up, keep running.
All right. This time you will, be able to. There won't be much distance as far as because thanks to them using their movement and dash action last time without disengaging, you'll only be dragging them a small ways. But see if you can go ahead and grab them, as it may be the crucial amount to potentially outdistance these creatures. Ooh. I'm going to roll for variance on that. And it looks like I'm going to need you to give me a strength saving throw, Detlin, as you attempt to grab a hold of your companion and drag them. Do you? Oh, it looks like you kind of yank a little bit without, first kind of prepping yourself for the torque of it. And like you kind of pull a muscle in your lower back. It's going to temporarily, it looks like, cause... it's going to be 2 points of temporary strength damage until you can, short rest and kind of nurture that for a second. It's tender. And that is also, of course, not going to succeed in dragging your companion the extra 5 feet. Detlin, at the end of your turn, you are going to be there with them. And we will cut now to the Shadow Fiends that are going to continue closing. It seems like, given the rounds having expired necessary, this creature is going to be able to summon one more of the little ones, and it will hang back a ways in order to accomplish that. I'll adjust the map to demonstrate. So basically, this one is going to spawn one more, but they will not be within threat range, and then the 2 smaller ones will have charged up, and they are going to not be able to do anything this turn other than try and threaten you. Now we go to the top of the order with Beryl, and Beryl, finally, it seems like you are getting some response to your hailing of the guards, and you can hear in the distance what sounds to be booted tread upon the cobblestone, and what looks to be the light of torches emerging from around like some distant like alleyway corners. It will be a couple rounds before they reach here, unfortunately, though. You and your companion will have to either escape or endure, hopefully before they while they make it en route, Baril, what do you want to do with your turn?
Realizing you probably won't be able to make it from running away. What you should do is you shall attack instead at the small ones.
Okay. Go ahead, make that attack.
5 feet of each other.
Yeah, they're both within 5 feet of each other. Your Horde Breaker will apply. Rolling for variance on the critical failure. It looks like that critical failure is going to, unfortunately, cost you the grip on your short sword, and I'm going to need you to give me either a sleight of hand or a dexterity saving throw, whichever you prefer. Otherwise, the short sword itself is going to slip through your fingers. Nice. Okay, that is going to be enough to retain it, so you are not going to lose the sword. That first attack obviously hits. I see you roll damage for that. Right, okay, and that is going to be enough to cause one of these little ones to kind of get almost dispersed for a moment as you pull your short sword through them. And despite the fact that it doesn't have magic, well, actually no, with the Hunter's Mark I guess it does have a little bit of magic behind it, but it doesn't have the...
I didn't add the Hunter's Mark damage in yet. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
That was the short. I actually changed the short sword damage to Hunter's Mark. I tried to add it in so the other roll with the weapon.
Gotcha. All right, that is not going to kill it, but again, you do some clear effect as the creature is not unfazed by this. Right, that is going to be the 2 attacks for your turn. Did you want to do anything else? All right, Detlin.
Delvin's going to move his full movement north, sling the greatsword back across his back as he's moving, and pull the light crossbow out and put a coral through the one that he just hit.
Okay. Go ahead and make that attack roll as you attempt to down that creep. That is going to be enough to hit. And that is going to, with a successive blast, be enough to sort of break this creature up into just so much more smoke and shadow of the night fog as it kind of vaporizes. And then from there, that is going to pass on to, it'll be the Shadow Fiends. So these 2 down here, being within distance now, are going to be able to move and attack in the same turn. Closing on our Ranger Baril, that's going to be 1 miss. That is going to be 1 hit, and that is going to be 1... Baril, what's your AC? Okay, then that's 1 higher than I thought it was. That other hit still hits, but this is not going to. So that's 1 out of the 3 manages to connect. I'm going to need that Constitution save from you, as they are going to continue to just try and pummel the movement from you by sapping your strength and the warmth of your body. You are going to take a total of... It's going to be 6 points of cold damage, and then from there we'll go to the top of the order. And I want to, at this point, point out that the guard are growing ever closer. Maybe 1 round, maybe 2. It's difficult to tell how long you'll have to hold out. But I also want to cut back to our companions at the inn at this time. I don't want to take all of your game time away from you as you find out whether or not your companions will make it back to the safety of the Hob and Knoll. Feel free to, if you'd like, is there anything you'd like to try and accomplish at this time? I'm looking at you specifically, Ash, as you were last we joined you, I think, standing rather briskly unrobed on the balcony of your hotel room, like singing into the wind while smoking at a pipe.
Yeah, I'm kind of still like sitting out there, and I'm starting to doze off, but I'm just kind of watching, the road in front of me and looking at the different lights, and I'm singing, just like whistling a little bit, like "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine," because that's what my tiefling people used to sing to me. But yeah, I'm just hanging out. Do I maybe hear anything like interesting as I'm dozing off here on the balcony?
Are you going to attempt? Is that a passive perception question, or are you going to actively attempt to like eavesdrop?
No, just passive. Just I'm just kind of observing the road and the lights and just taking it all in. So I guess it's passive. Not really looking for anything.
All right. What's your passive perception? 13 or 14?
I think it's 11.
Oh, right. We were just over this. So with that 11, you're not going to notice really anything particularly interesting, other than occasionally there seem to be flashes of light coming from the hole in the center of the town square where the fountain was, and now there's like the crater that goes down through several levels of substructure. It seems as if it's only for a moment, but like it's this faint blue color that kind of flashes here and there as if moving around somewhere deep down within the depths underneath the stone. Past that, though, you don't see anything or hear anything that is of particular interest from your balcony perch.
Okay, I'm just gonna blame it on the burgundy weed or whatever that is that I'm smoking, and I'm just gonna probably just call it a night and close my doors and rest my poor head.
Okay. From there, I will, of course, give an opportunity to Jasir and Zaris, who are whiling away the evening trying to sleep. But obviously, you could be spending your time if there's anything that you want to try and accomplish, or anything that you've thought of in the meantime. I'm just putting together an appropriate spooky backdrop for our battle in the streets. Yeah. But was there anything?
I'd like to take a 5-foot step to my bed and lie down.
Okay.
After kind of eating my fill of the greasy pork, and after such an exhausting day, I'm dead asleep.
Okay. So it seems that they will be just dead set on whiling away the evening in comfort, as we will pass back down now to Beryl. Beryl, 1 round, maybe 2 to go before you have some backup here that might be able to save you. What do you want to do?
What I'll do is after hearing the guards that are like a couple seconds away, I will cut again at one of the shadows. Okay.
Sorry, you broke up there towards the end. You're gonna stab at one of the shadows?
I will cut down.
All right, there we go. Okay, I was gonna say, so that 14 is going to hit, and so is that 22. Go ahead and roll damage on both. Nicely done. That is... Which one were you attacking? The larger or the smaller?
Smaller.
Okay, that is going to be enough to disperse one of the smaller ones. It will require both of those attacks, so you will have to use them both, but you are going to manage to, basically, by running your short sword in a Z-shaped pattern through it, manage to cause the creature's substance to break apart into so much shadow once more.
He does this while barely standing up left.
Okay. From there, we go to Detlin. Detlin, you watch as your ranger struggles valiantly. What are you going to do?
How much movement would it take to get on the other side of the creatures from him?
At this point, because you used your full 30 last time, it would take around, to get on the other side, approximately 40, 45 feet of movement.
We're going to dash, get on the opposite side of them, so that they have to choose between two targets again.
Okay.
Drop the crossbow and regrip the greatsword.
Got it. Then I'm going to...
Come at me, bro.
Exactly. I'm going to roll on behalf of these two remaining. I'm going to roll first for the little one. It is going to attack still the ranger, as it's just kind of set on that, and it's almost kind of like a puppeted extension of the larger creature. That is going to hit for a total of...
I see I'm down.
What?
I was at 1 hit points, I'm down.
Oh, you're down? Oh, okay. All right, so you are down. I don't keep track of player health for this reason.
I'm out.
That does not mean that you're out, so you will have to make a death saving throw as you go down, as per the custom rules of this game show. So, give me your first of 3 death saving throws. Okay, that is a success. From there, we go now to the larger Shadow Fiend, which is seeing this ranger go down, going to be more
Come at me, bro.
Be more concerned with the Dragonborn that's pressing on its southern flank, and is going to try to attack them. And it looks like they are not going to be successful. It's a pretty low roll. And what with them only having that as far as their economy right now, it is going to pass over to the top of the order to Beryl. Beryl, go ahead and give me another death saving throw. I'm rolling athletics for the guard to see if they're able to sprint that extra little bit, or whether or not it's going to be the full 2 rounds before they reach you. Oh, I didn't realize that was another identical 11 death save. I was like, I'm waiting for the... Okay, it's just sitting right there in front of me. So that's 2 successes. Beryl, that is going to then pass over to Detlin's turn, as you are still struggling for your life. Detlin, what are you doing?
Do my best to fortify myself against the coming blows. We're going to go ahead and enact second wind as a bonus action.
Okay.
And then as my action, I am just going to swing as hard as I can straight down through the big one to see if it does anything.
Go for it. Oh, I'm going to need you to roll to hit first.
That was for the second wind bonus action.
Oh, gotcha. I thought that was the damage. I was like, what? There we go. That is going to hit, though, so go ahead and roll that damage.
18, not a 19 because of the strength up.
Mm-hmm. All right, 10. that is going to cut down through the larger shadow creature, but you're going to find that unlike the smaller ones, this one seems to be far more resilient to the physical damage of your unenchanted weapon. And as you bring it down through the creature, it's going to manage to kind of repair itself as it passes through, rather than being broken up into so much more like fog and mist, like the other smaller like things that it had been summoning for its aid. And with that, Detlin, I imagine, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, we're not going to move.
Okay. Then we go now to the Shadow Fiends. The small one is going to continue to try and basically like feed on our ranger, which means that you are going to take an automatic failure of 1 death save, but
What?
because you're currently down and it's attacking.
Oh.
And so that is, but that's 2 successes to just the 1 failure. So you are still, of course, struggling with life and death. Meanwhile, the larger Shadow Fiend is going to still be locked with Detlin, and that's going to be also another miss on behalf of the Shadow Fiend. We're starting to really like those early on high attacks are now getting counterweighted. And that is going to pass it to the top of the order. I need 1 more death saving throw from Beryl, but as you make that, the guards are pounding around the corner, torches in hand, spears and swords drawn, and ready to do battle with these shadowy figments. Assuming you do not get a natural 1 death saving throw, it looks like there's still a very good chance to save your life here.
What are you talking about? Now I'm up. I'm now up, but I'm now on the ground.
Sorry, what?
I have a set of skills that a normal person does not.
Are you using your...
skills
Oh, you're... Okay,
that-
awesome.
Yes.
I didn't even think about that. Okay, using your Zodiac Moon, you have taken that 1 damage, and so that actually wouldn't have... You would not have lost your death saving throw, so you are up, actually. Welcome to the Unrepentant Hydra. So you're going to manage to be alive when the guards come pounding around the corner, and it is your turn now, Beryl.
I get up off the floor I get up off the floor swinging.
Okay. Go ahead and make those rolls. Oh my... That is so lucky you did not have to make that death saving throw. That would have been it. Oh man. Okay, so that is going to, having rolled for variance, you're going to, with that one, accidentally manage to kind of overextend on the first attack, and the shadow creature that was feeding on you or attempting to is going to get an opportunity, which it misses. So inconsequential. That second attack hits, is not enough to disperse it outright, but you do see it cause like considerable damage to the smaller one. And from...
I'm not done yet, and I get up on my feet. Well, I got up for an attack, but I'm getting up.
I'm getting up again.
Yep.
All right.
This is my turn.
So from there, it goes to Detlin. Detlin, you have, it looks like, reinforcements in sight and a rapidly winnable situation in front of you. Are you swinging on this creature?
Swinging on the big one again.
Okay, go for it. That is going to hit. It is going to do a marginal amount of damage, as it seems to be fairly unfazed by a blow that would otherwise maybe split a man in 2. And is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna skip bonus and movement.
Okay. And I just had a feeling, which is why I asked. So you are then going to pass it over to the Shadow Fiends. The larger one is going to now disengage from this combat and begin to basically slink off into the night as it realizes there are far too many humans here for it to feed upon. And with that, it's going to make a stealth roll with advantage given the terrain. And based on everyone's passive perception, it's going to functionally disappear from sight for now, as it's more or less disappeared into the obscuring fog and darkness of the night, leaving behind the one smaller one, which, given its situation, is going to just take a parting a parting shot at Beryl with a natural 20, and
he's back down.
and he's back down again. Beryl, go ahead and give me a death saving throw, but you don't have any failures at this point, so even if it's a natural 1, yeah, so you're down one death save. The guards are there at this point and are going to begin trying to administer first aid successfully, I might add, so they are going to manage to stabilize you. As Detlin, you see your companion being helped to his feet by the guards as they give him a bracing shot of some sort of concoction from their medicine kit to rouse him from his near-death state. And the cold that seems to be plaguing him, you are free to interact at this point, and you are out of combat.
Okay.
Everything
training. Member training. They say, if you can see through it, run away. Next time, if you know priests, run away.
Yeah, but I don't think we would have been able to made it far, so that's why I decided it was either fight or flight, and I chose fight. Which ended actually pretty well more than I expected, my dad.
Yeah.
Only died twice.
Yeah, I only got almost killed twice. This is a new record.
Okay. Beryl, Detlin, are you going to tarry long in the streets here, or are you headed back to the Hob and Knoll?
I mean, it's a hard choice, but I think I'd choose the tavern.
Okay. All right. Detlin?
You know, he's going to put his sword away, start walking back toward the Hop and Knoll, and just give the ranger a really good hearty smack on the back for
Goes back
going
down.
Right. The ranger has a heart attack.
Insta killed.
Yeah, right. So from there, you will be able to reach the Hob and Knoll without further issue. But now we have the matter of the evening's encounter check, as you all have to sleep through the night for 8 hours plus. So who of the party wants to roll that as our companions return? And I don't want to rush you, but Detlin, Beryl, are you going to bed down immediately, or was there something else that you wanted? Okay. Then who of the 5 will roll an encounter check to see what, if anything, transpires over their auspicious stay here?
first night I'll volunteer.
All right.
I've rolled enough for today.
You got it. Go ahead, Detlin. I'm rolling my counter roll now. 23. Take the difference from mine, and it's going to leave us somewhere. Oh, this is a fun one.
Oh, goody.
You are all going to find yourselves awoken in the night by screams from out in the street. There are obviously what are some sort of commoner or I say it like it's some sort of variety of animal, but there are the cries of people in the streets and the obvious sounds of melee and what seems to be the immediate sounds of growling and howls piercing through the night air.
Question.
Yeah.
Did I get to roll hit yet? Okay, let me just roll every single hit dice I got. Real quick, give me a second.
You got it. Yeah,
Let
you
me
did
give
sleep
me a
long
second,
enough
I'll be
to
right
roll
back.
hit die, so that is totally on the table.
It shows me at 33. I guess I'm full.
Yeah. You managed to not really take any damage during the previous fight
Right.
because of the fear
Yeah,
that
he
got
was-
put on you at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, hold on. There's ghouls howling in the background. There we go. You are going to have to deal with this or just ignore it and go back to sleep. Which would you prefer at the moment?
Jester is gonna hear this sound, sit up a little bit, and just kind of bash my head against the wall, just having such a long and exhausting day. I'll walk over to the balcony. Do we have a window or a balcony in the room?
Yes, you do certainly.
Cool. So I'll walk over and I'll just see and listen to see what's going on, just really begrudgingly.
Okay.
I'm doing the same. I'm kind of gonna I'm still naked. I'm running to the balcony and throwing the doors open, looking down.
Same as me.
All right. Go ahead and everybody give me perception checks as you look down from your various windows and balconies and try to gather what is going on in the streets.
Because I have the good room, do I have a good view?
You have a balcony, but your view is no different from those who have a window. All of you are kind of overlooking more or less the same front facing town square. There's one of you who's facing off towards the east, which is Detland, but the other ones are all facing north. So now that's going to be, I see perception. All above 15. So all of you are going to notice the same things, which is that down in the street, there seems to be some sort of melee having broken out between these large kind of humanoid-esque wolves that seem to be towering on 2 feet, larger than a man. Some of them look to be sporting decorative hairstyles. Some of them with their manes braided. Others have been shaved in creative patterns. Some of them seem to be wearing quite a lot of jewelry in the form of golden bands and earrings. There's just a lot of aesthetic choices made by these werewolves that seem to be otherwise very fashionable, and they are engaged in some kind of fight with this band of commoners who are all now really regretting this decision that they had made moments ago, as it looks like this band of drunkards in the street is beginning to scatter and cry out as the werewolves kind of point at different one of them and begin to start stalk and hunt them down through town square and ravage and savage at their flesh there in the town, while some people are calling and pointing out from other nearby windows. You hear one person call from the crowd, "Ah, they deserved it."
Question: how close are they?
All of this is going on like scattered throughout the town square. So some of them are as close as like 50 to 60 feet. Some of them, after the crowd scatters and the werewolves start chasing them in various directions, it seems as if they're getting up to like 100 feet away and stuff. Some of them obscured by tents and others by buildings.
I think we need to help them. I say to the other two people next to me in the other windows.
You're just gonna
Nearby rooms.
Sure. Just call out across the way. I like it.
Hey, how's it going? What's what's going
Doing
on?
pretty
down
good.
there?
Thanks for asking. I'll also pass Hunter's Mark on one of them
All right.
because that's the thing I can do. Now, you guys may be wondering why I cast Hunter's Mark. It's because I can find them later using it.
Okay. You said there's
Zaris is sitting up in bed, just sort of staring over at Jacer. Like, you got this? What's going on?
Some hipster werewolves? Not quite sure.
yes.
I mean, I want to kill the way they woke me up, and I was sleeping pretty good. I had a nice dream. I was playing in the woods. It was all
Okay.
nice.
I'm gonna go over and open the window. Is there how far away is the closest werewolf?
The closest werewolf from the window that Jassir, because I mean you're sharing a room, like is currently looking at, is about 70 feet away.
Okay. I'm gonna open the window, and then Jester kind of having his own experiences with just like rude and disruptive commoners. I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy to throw my voice to the werewolf and just kind of yell or just like ask like what's going on here.
All right. As that happens, the werewolf is going to snap their head up at you, like locking eyes, and let out a resounding "Oh!" as they howl at the moons above, and then say, "It's none of your business."
I want to say, well,
None of our business.
you know, I was in deep sleep. I was having a dream, a wonderful, wonderful dream, and I woke up. So I'd say it is some of my business now, sir.
Just screaming across the city.
All right. With that, are you trying to?
Yeah, and I'll
Ash,
say,
is that
I'll
a
ask
is that a
you again.
persuasion or an intimidate? Like, are you trying to get these people to like back off, or are you trying to get them to engage?
I'm trying to get them to tell us like what's going on here. Why? So I'll say that, and then I'll say, so I'll ask you one more time, what's going on there? Tell me now. You woke me up from my nap. I need to know what's happening.
All right.
Can I
Maybe it's like a little intimidation.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that intimidation then, as you attempt to sort of like startle these werewolves. And that 16 is going to be certainly enough to.
I'm scary looking, you know. So.
Mm-hmm. The werewolves are going to seemingly not be intimidated so much that they are afraid of you, but one of them that was also nearby is going to begin, was going to stop like gnawing on the townsfolk that they were, and get up and start walking over towards where the one that's currently engaged in, and they're going to look up at you, basically mouth and teeth just still bloody from their recent victim, and say, "It's none of your business, but if you must know, we have a bit of a dispute going on right now. There's, you see, a contest, and it seems that these people are trying to cheat us."
What kind of contest?
Well, contest sounds fun.
There is currently a contest amongst our kind as he motions to himself to indicate likely werewolves, assuming that there's not some other intersectionality here you're not missing.
I see wolves.
Is going to say, our kind is having a contest in order to see how many of your kind we can convert in a single evening. However, it seems that these people here, though they had previously agreed to play rabbit for the evening for a fair compensation, I will mind you, are now saying that long-term lycanthropy isn't worth the price for the job that they signed up for.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah, same.
Well, I really don't like that because once you're done with them, what's to say you're not going to jump up here and get me?
We're not animals.
My naked body.
We are simply out here using pre-agreed upon individuals that have already signed up to be a part of this.
Do you have that in writing by any chance?
The werewolf is going to look a little aghast and kind of realizing that this might be getting complicated, flick at their mane and also the jewelry on one side of their rather elongated ear and say, writing? What do you mean?
Yeah. I don't know if I can't just. I mean, killing and eating people is definitely wrong.
We're not killing any of them.
Turning lycanthropy is definitely frowned upon.
Most of them will
society.
likely be fairly sore tomorrow.
But I don't think I can take your word just from this passing statement. I'd have to see a written contract to fully believe you.
Can I insight them?
You're more than welcome to.
At JC saying killing and eating people is wrong. Zaris is gonna begrudgingly get out of bed, get himself dressed, head over.
All right, Beryl, with the 10 insight, you find this to be an outrageous claim on behalf of these werewolves. This is right up there with, I swear he was giving me his wallet. But at the same time, there's just enough truth in this werewolf's kind of candor and the fact that it has stopped doing what it's doing to engage in you in the middle of the street when it could otherwise be, trying to feed upon you or others, makes you think that there is likely something here that you're not quite accounting for.
So what are you not telling us here? Because there's something here that doesn't add up.
All right.
It's such a bother to try to figure out. Why not just ask?
So, with that, the werewolf is going to actually looks like make the athletics check and begin starting to climb the front of the inn that you are on, Beryl, and start climbing up to your room.
I shall close my I'm gonna say, is this like a friendly climb, or are you just kind of just trying to...
This does not look like a friendly climb.
Yeah, no, this doesn't look like a friendly climb, so I'm just gonna instantly dash and stop in the middle of his sentence. He leaves his room and goes to the next room to hide.
Okay.
I doubt that anyone ever said they locked their doors.
I did say I locked my door.
You're the one person who did.
All right.
Upon seeing it climb up like that, I'm gonna say, "Oh no, 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 no!" And I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm gonna shoot it with some firebolt because this thing's coming at my new friend. We were holding hands earlier today. I don't want it.
And saying kumbaya around the fire, you already know.
All right.
I'll turn to Xeris and say, "Are we dealing with this?"
He's climbing up. I'm down to one spell.
And I'm down. To
Everyone's
one
running?
hit point.
I'm shooting it. I mean, it's climbing up. Where are we gonna run? We're gonna go hide in the bathroom or something?
I'm gonna like wipe the sleep
That sounds
out of
like a
my
good idea.
eyes. Kind of concentrate for a second, and I'll cast Toll the Dead cantrip.
Okay, I would say first shoot it with the fire, or what? What do you say, DM? I'm still
Yeah.
gonna shoot it.
How far away is our boat? 30 feet, maybe?
Yeah, like less than that, but yes,
Less, maybe even 20.
yeah.
Okay.
Given-
I am going to cast Tensor's floating disc on the balcony as he's climbing up. He's climbing. Tensor's floating disc is just going to be there.
Okay. Then, as that happens, you're attacking this werewolf. Is that what I understand, Ash?
Yeah, Ash is gonna attack it with a firebolt cantrip that I have. I don't really know how to roll for it though.
Okay.
not-
Oh, right. We were having a little trouble getting that. I was trying before the game. It seemed like the character sheet just was having trouble taking the drag and drop from the compendium. You would just roll a spell attack, which would be your proficiency plus your casting modifier, which in this case I believe.
Intelligence if you're a wizard.
It's charisma, I believe, for this spell.
Yeah.
For a wizard, warlock, or
Well, you're
Warlock
actually
and
it's the
Bard, charisma.
magic initiative is what initiate is what you're using. So that'll be 17 plus 3 plus your casting modifier, which I believe in this case, not actually. I think it would just default to intelligence, but I can't swear to that. Either way, it's
It
enough
says-
to hit. Yeah.
It says it says if I wherever I choose from, it tells me charisma for the bard. If I choose the bard spells,
Oh, okay. So are you choosing
is
this
it
from the
intelligence?
the bard list?
so I think this is charisma because it's from it says warlock. So charisma is for
Yeah.
warlock. So
Warlock is charisma. So that is having resolved that, it would be plus I think 5 for you. Either way, it hits. This creature is going to get blasted in the side of its muzzle with just a searing hot bolt of fiery energy condensed into a dart and hurled through the night air. Go ahead and roll damage for that. Thank you. Bang! And that is going to clap it in the side of the mouth, and you're going to see that this creature is going to not be able to recover and instead is going to scrabble and fall down to the cobblestone on its back and let out yet another howl. And
And I'm gonna say, get back, you beast.
as this happens, a couple of the other werewolves are beginning to come over and help this one to their feet. You can also see now, it looks like the guard are starting to arrive and scope out the scene as they kind of cautiously look at these werewolves, not sure what they're doing at first. It becomes obvious that there is perhaps more afoot here than meets the eye, as the guards do not immediately attack these creatures. And instead, the one that you just shot in the face as it was trying to climb up the side of this hotel turns back to a human. And there you see the piercings still in the ear, as well as the kind of stylish haircut still in place. It looks to be a youth of some kind. And the guards immediately, by their body language, start kind of relaxing and letting out this like, and putting up their hands and putting down their swords, realizing that they are not in the presence of someone who is a danger, as if the guards themselves are more afraid of this person's social status than they are their current status as a, lycanthrope.
Interesting.
After hearing the Big Bang, I would like to come back. I would like to go to the next room over. Still, and open the door since no one else said that there were.
If you go to the next door over, let me check.
That's my teammate that I saw in the
Okay.
window.
In which case, the closest door from here would be Ash's.
Huh? Isn't his door locked?
No, I didn't lock it.
Ash did
I
not
like-
lock
like-
theirs.
okay.
Jassier locked theirs.
I'm gonna twist
No,
the
that's
knob
ours.
so it's not so I can like open it, but I'm gonna bust down the door doing it like that so it looks like I'm super strong. Like I
you're-
busted really hard, just because I can.
Got it.
And I'll say, what's going on?
Ash?
I shot it in the face, and then he turned into a little rich kid with earrings.
Oh God, he's naked. Why? I close the door and go to my other teammate, and I do the exact same
Still
thing.
naked.
All right, Detlin, at this point, it's important to touch base with you. You've been awoken by all of this. Are you still attempting to just sleep through?
Yeah.
Alan wakes
The
up,
question is
Sip up.
he in the next room?
looks at the tankard, listens for a second, goes, nah. Glug, glug, glug. Good night.
It's just... Eventually, the bottle will stop sounding like a wolf. And from there, that means that you're going to... the next closest, because if Ash... You've just ran out of, and then Jassir and Zaris have the same room. The only other one would be Detlin. So upon opening that, you're going to see your companion just drinking rather
I said,
deliberately and then going back to sleep despite there clearly being something going on.
I'm gonna say, hey, and I'm gonna shake the awake. Wiki, wiki. It's time for eggs and bakey.
Oh, he's awake. He's drinking, just like.
Food.
He went back to sleep. Went back to bed.
Detlin, are you going to humor this or pretend to just be unconscious?
Just gonna grin and let the flames kind of lick out of his teeth a little bit. You have food?
That's hot. Here, just. You look like you don't want to be bothered, so I'm just gonna use your room for a bit. Don't worry about it. Just go back to bed. I look out of his window instead to
All
see
right.
what's happening.
You catch the scene as I previously described. Now it looks like more of these stylish rich kids are transforming out of their werewolf state, and like the guard and them are having this conversation, and it looks like the guard are increasingly apologetic, looking more and more sheepish as they kind of mutter in this exchange. And these rich kids, some of them covered in the blood of the poor, are pointing at angrily up at the windows of the inn and saying something to the guard. You can only imagine the version of events that they're currently spinning, as the one that Ash blasted in the face with the firebolt does have these sort of still singe marks along the side of their neck, and they're like pointing at that and pointing up at the inn.
I yelled to Ash, what happened while I was gone?
I want
I'm pretty
to.
sure everyone can hear.
I'm gonna attempt to hide. Like.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check as you attempt to back away from this. The good old high step. Ooh, all right. With an 8, you are going to just shut the door to the balcony really quick, but unfortunately the lock and the latch are just going to make so much noise, and it seems like all of the wind and the howling and all of the just the sounds from the inn below come to a stop perfectly right as the latch goes click.
All
I
right.
say, hey, did you climb up on my thing again? What? Can you come on? Why don't you close your window?
And Ash is gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't quite get that. I'm here. I'm hiding. They can't see me. I believe."
If I can see you, they can see you.
Shh.
So as much as Ash is able to go inside of their room and be like blocked off from vision, the lack of a stealth check represents more that they are very, very sure which room that was. And you're going to Jasir and Zaris, if you're are you still watching this scene play out?
Yeah, so Jessir, just like with his innate kind of sense of justice, just like is getting very frustrated at kind of this abuse of the poor, and like kind of this class struggle that I'm seeing. Um, can I hear any of the conversation, or can I? Like, I'm gonna attempt to hear
Go
some
ahead
of
and give
that
me a
conversation.
perception check and crane your ears in order to see if you can hear any of what's going on.
That's you said that we could only imagine what sort of story they were spinning, and I wanted to respond to that. But let me roll a perception check first.
Sure. All right, 19 for Jasir and Zaros with a 15. Okay, Zaros, you're going to be able to catch like the general tone of things, but with Jasir, you're going to be able to catch a little bit more in terms of the actual wording of it, and then better yet, still, Beryl, you're like leaning out of Detlin's window, even though you remember Detlin was the one that didn't have line of sight on this, you are going to be able to. Oh, that spooky noise has just got very loud all of a sudden. You are still going to be able to like hear pretty well what's going on. You'll get basically the same impression as Jasir did because you're just a little further away. So the gist of it seems to be that this kid belongs to one of the Van Talk family, and what's going on here is completely above board, has already been sanctioned, and that somebody assaulted one of these kids while otherwise threatening and harassing them. And it is the guard's obligation to do something about this, as it's the Van Talk family that pays for a majority of the scale mail and the swords and the spears that these guards are using on the everyday basis. So from there, the guards are going to start to kind of look around and make motion like they're gonna start heading into the lobby area of the Hobbin Knoll, and start seeing if they can't find somebody to pin some blame on, because it looks like this teenager adolescent is fairly still upset, like clutching at the side of their face and still gesturing up at the windows.
Alright, so I turned to Zaris. From what I can hear, it sounds like this brat is the kid of some higher upper in the city and is paying for some of the guards' equipment. This seems, although unjust, it seems very much above us.
I'm just
God.
like in a fetal position, being like, "Oh, I messed up. I messed up. I'm gonna go under the bed. Actually, I'm gonna hide under the bed.
Yeah, you can hide under the bed.
Can you tell me why you were climbing up to my room as I point to
I'm
the
gonna-
claw marks that are at my window.
Okay. You're gonna call that down to the werewolf.
Yeah.
All right. The werewolf or the teen who was moments ago a werewolf is going to actually hold on.
All I wanted to know was the answer. You kind of just hostilely climbed up my window.
Hold on,
menacing.
because remember Detlin's window is not overlooking this. It
Yes,
looks like
but I was first view.
they're going to be trying to they're gonna have to find you first to see who's saying this as they kind of check the sides of the buildings. And then after they do that, the Van Talk child is going to call up and say basically that you had questions, we had answers.
But you didn't have to climb up my window. You could just tell you were with the rest of us, or like you're doing to me right now.
And
There was no reason for you to climb up my window unless you're gonna do something to me.
the child
As
is simply
this is
going to
going on,
scoff
I'm-
in response to that reasoning and say, oh, what? You'd have me up here in the street yelling out into the night and causing a scene? Of course not. We're going to
You
settle
already
this
did
conversation behind private doors. I was trying to afford you some privacy.
I can't actually afford that either.
All right. The
I'm going to point my finger
kid
down at
is
the
not going to be amused
guard.
at being made fun of, and is going to start grabbing a hold of the nearest guard and being like, you've got to get up there.
If you want me down, you could
Oh,
just
yeah.
add. That's a word you can use.
Then you
Je-
and your companions get down here. Whoever hit me in the face, they're gonna have to answer for this.
Jester's gonna go back to sleep.
as
Damn it.
as they are bickering back and forth, I'm going to cast message to the guard and say, we were awoken by the fighting of werewolves tearing apart villagers. One of them climbed up the wall and was blasted in defense. That's the punk that is spouting lies now.
Okay. You are.
Does the guard respond back with the message?
I was gonna say, so the guard is going to respond back and say, duly noted. But you get a kind of a brusque, almost kind of a brush off feel from this.
I wasn't
Let
there
me
to see
if
who
I can,
shot you.
Roll insight and see if he's. Let me see if I can determine better what. If it's like, hey, don't worry about it, or we gotta do something.
Okay. So are you going to just message them again?
Let me see if I can get a little more insight on what his first response is.
All right. Go ahead and roll insight then.
I want to get out of my hiding spot and get dressed.
Okay. Gonna start
And
packing
get
all those
my
bags
gear
up.
and everything. And then probably just hide again. I don't know.
It seems like based on that 11 insight, this guard and your gut instinct is likely to just go with whatever is expected of them. You don't think that they are likely to be the one to stand up and start contradicting the presented narrative.
Continue
the
to
narrative
what you
presented
just
by
said.
the lycanthrope.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. This isn't good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Maybe. Okay, like Ash is like indecisive right now. Like keeps on like hiding and then like not hiding, then like hiding again, and then like going to a different hiding spot. I think he's gonna be like, okay, yeah, thinking this through, like, okay, guards, rich people, I have some gold here. Maybe they said, maybe I can just give them some gold. So I'm gonna take like 10 gold out of my little pouch, and I think I have like. I don't know. I'm not sure how much I have, but I have like. I'll get the number in a moment. I'm gonna take like 10 of it out and like put it in my pocket somewhere else, and then I'm gonna go to the window and say, "Yes, it was me. You're right. I blasted the child, the sweet, innocent boy, with the fire. I thought I was in a dream. I really thought I was in a dream. I woke up. I was so flustered, in such a big way, flustered, and I acted on my instinct. I'm sorry, my boy. And I'm gonna throw him my coin purse. Take this as as my atonement for ruining your beautifully curled mustache and earrings. And I throw him. Let me see how much gold here. Hold on.
I don't even think that you have 10. Oh wait, no, you probably, because you guys.
I throw him 13 gold.
You throw him 13 gold.
Yeah, there's a lot of gold there, buddy.
All right, go ahead and give me that persuasion check as you attempt to diffuse this situation with a little bit of everyday bribery / my bad money.
Anybody have like a guidance or like something you can throw my way? Like maybe like.
Unfortunately, you already threw that bag, son. The die is cast. I just need that persuasion check. All right, 16. That's fair. Let us see. It looks like the Van Talk child is going to count the gold, and had it been a lesser amount, under 10 per se, they might be a little bit more angry, but you're going to see kind of a noticeable eyebrow shift as they get into the 11, 12, 13 now clinking gold coins as they're counting in this purse naked in the middle of the street, with them and the rest of their like now slowly gathering werewolf band is going to nod at the guards with just kind of this affirmative, it's fine, and they will begin to disperse, whereas moments ago it seemed like they were ready to get to the bottom of this urgent public matter. And the Van Talk child is going to look up at your window, Ash, and say, I will excuse this only because of the situation. But if you or your kind bother my family again, I will see to it that you are put into irons and locked away in a basement so deep and so dark inside the garrison you never see the light of day again.
Okay, I just say, and I kind of like faint, and I just sit down on the balcony.
Okay.
Let's see.
Message to the guard.
Complete my long rest outside.
We're very sorry for the disturbance this night. Thank you for your service.
Well put. So, the guards are going to, at that point, just respond back with it's fine. Go back to bed. Don't get involved.
Will do.
All right.
Not
Okay.
out loud, just like, yeah, I'm gonna turn around, go back in the bedroom, and
Okay.
Seer, you still up? Everything's fine.
Jester's just laying the pillow over his head, just out.
All right. Jassier is going to bed down. Is the rest of the party going to finish up that long rest in front of them?
I'm gonna poke the pillow, just Seer. Hey, are you up? Are you up? I'm gonna cast light on it.
Do you know how they say good night in Dwarven?
Jester's startled. Some sparks of electricity twinkle, like kind of sparkle out of my mouth. I say, "What?"
We need to be particularly careful around these rich kids. We're on thin, but Ash was able to buy them off.
Jester will nod his head and just thump back down.
I take the light off the pillow and I get in bed.
You leave the light.
Okay. So that's 2 betting down for the night. Detlin, I've already got your answer. Beryl and Ash, are you going to just call it for the evening?
Yeah, Ash is just
Yeah.
passed out on the balcony, just gonna sleep out there.
They're just... All right.
Just naked balcony.
Oh,
Just,
all right. I got to appreciate the style. From there, we are about 4 minutes away from the 4-hour mark, so I feel like this is a good time to call it as our companions complete their long rest. Having resolved a number of encounter checks today, we'll have to see what transpired at that jewelry shop, and hopefully if our players' investment of well-earned loose gems having been scavenged from the lair of those thieves is useful or still there, really. We managed to almost watch the ranger go down to some shadowy undead that patrolled the streets at night. Detlin, having not been there, the ranger surely would have died. And then we also managed to diffuse the situation with these rich lycanthrope teens that seem to be otherwise extremely fashionable and also hunting the poor, which is none of that seems good. Of course, there's still the issue of the priestess of Yonqua who disappeared, claiming that she was going to reappear with guards yesterday, but never seemed to return. As well as, of course, the various mysteries that lie underneath Hope's Rise, the mysterious lights coming from the crater in the center of town, and the substructures underneath, all of the side quests that our characters are actively trying to accomplish, and plenty of more questions that need to be answered in coming sessions. But for now, I'm going to draw it to a close, and I will, for the quick moment, put it up to the Twitch chat and see how many people are out there and currently paying attention. Who do you think of the 5 players this evening most deserves a choice of their precious stone? It looks like the Twitch chat is silent for the moment. We've got 1 vote for Beryl.
That's true. Survived death twice.
He did. He survived death almost twice. Really.
I mean, I couldn't have done it without my teammates.
Undeniably adjacent is going for Jassier. We've got 1 for Jassier and 1 for Beryl, so I think that Jassier and Beryl, I'm going to have you roll off for it, both with D20s. If you don't mind, throwing those up into the Roll20 chat. We'll see which one of you gets your choice of the following stones as I post them. One of them, of course, is the axe head of rhodonite, and the other that you see on your right there is the fossilized snail that has been sort of bisected so that you can see the layers of its shell and also the creature itself. It looks like Baril at an 8 is getting beat out by Jasir with a 9. Oh, man, by 1 point. Jasir, that means you have choice of stone. Which one would you like?
I'll take the snail. That's awesome.
Okay, you got it. Leaving the Rhodonite axe head in the pool for another day. Make sure to send me a shipping address that I can get that stone to you at, and I'll get it in the mail as soon as possible. And past that, thank you everybody out there who's in the Twitch chat watching actively. Thank you to all of the people who will watch this after the fact on YouTube or wherever you consume this media. And stay tuned for a couple of announcement videos likely to be coming out in the next week or two as I navigate the structure and format changes that are going to be coming with the shifts that we're making around the Patreon benefits. For those of you who are currently patrons, we will be preserving everything as it was, but then in the coming month we're going to see about moving on to a different setup that makes more sense for Patreon's terms of services, as well as us here who are trying to accomplish an ever-growing, essentially charity raffle with cash and precious stone-shaped prizes. So thank you all very much, and until next time, there's only one question you need to answer. So, you think you can quest? And here we reach the end of our tale. For now, join us again next time as the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest.
Yeah, I got 20 reasons right here. I don't need like to be no edison. I'm holding 20s. I'm holding 20s. Had a dragon leash, try to break my stride. So choke the war axe right between his eyes. Been gaining on the dragon's ass since 2 days past. He terrorized the town, brought him to the ground. But I've been moving quick and fight that son of a bitch now. Cause every day I'm hustling. Just one possession chance brings every trap that's it. Oh, God.